8253 DF Memphis. It's time to get up and get your day started.
Get up! Get up!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Greetings and salutations on this Hump Day edition of Sports 56 Mornings. We welcome you in. It's the Wednesday, April 15th, 2026 show to be exact. Tax day, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you did your duty, your due diligence, and took care of the taxes. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you, broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. They got their spring sale going on and going on strong down there at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Got another warm one for you today. Right now it's 68 degrees. Going to get up into the mid-80s, looking at 84 for high, but it will be breezy. Intervals of clouds and sunshine. Then tonight, a low of 68. We will probably see, not a guarantee, but probably see a thunderstorm in the area overnight. For your Friday to wrap up your week, or for your Thursday, I should say, first of all, we got rain in the forecast, but not an all-day thing. Could see some sunshine, could see some thunderstorms tomorrow. Friday looks to be delightful with a high reaching close to 90. And then storms on Saturday, sunshine on Sunday. Again, that forecast is always, well, it's always could change, right? We know that Mother Nature is fickle in what she does and will decide on her time what the weather will be. In the meantime, we thank the great folks at Old Dominick Distillery. They are the first hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. When you're heading downtown, maybe for a Redbirds game, you're going to see a play at the Orpheum during the Grizzly season. You're going to see some basketball, Tigers basketball. Well, make it a nightcap. Stop by Old Dominick Distillery at 305 South Front Street. That distillery bar is fantastic, and grab yourself one of those award-winning craft spirits. Of course, they produce Tennessee whiskey, bourbon whiskey, the Honeybell Citrus Vodka, Formula 10 Gin, being sold in many states, and it continues to grow. And remember, it's made right here in Memphis. It is Old Dominick Distillery. We got a big show for you today. Basketball postseason underway. We had two doozies last night in the play-in. We're just getting started. It's a whole different feeling, isn't it, from the end of the regular season, the last 2 months that drag on forever, especially when your team is struggling, like the Grizzlies were with all kinds of problems, mainly injuries. Well, once the postseason starts, the clock starts again, and it's excitement at the highest level. We got plenty of portal news, and the Tigers getting involved for the first time yesterday with two players reportedly headed to the University of Memphis, and they're just getting started. We will talk about that. There is a Big Ten football team that has to vacate some victories, but it's not Indiana. We'll tell you about that as well. We got some Major League Baseball news to get into, coaching news as well. DeMichael Cole will join us at 8:05 to talk all things Grizzlies and the NBA. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Tigers wrapping up spring football practice this week with the Spring Fest on Saturday. And guess what? Next week is the NFL Draft. So a lot of good things happening in the world of sports. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on?
Man, I'll tell you what, that was some good basketball last night.
It really was.
Fun basketball. The play-in tournament, listen, I think, again, some people have problems with some of the stuff. Any of these sports that make changes. Obviously, Major League Baseball is going through a lot of changes. Some people like, some people don't like. NBA, same thing. I don't know how you wouldn't like the play-in tournament. Like, the play-in tournament to me has been a massive success, and it last night produced two fantastic games.
Well, I think you get a chance, right? A couple of these teams down at the bottom, but they make it to the postseason, are not quite good enough to make the playoffs unless, of course, they do the damage in the play-in. But it's fun. It's exciting. I think it's way better than the first four in Dayton with the NCAA tournament. I still really haven't bought into that whole deal. It just feels like it's not part of the tournament. This feels like it's part of the NBA playoffs, even though technically play-in versus playoffs. I feel the playoffs started last night. Jay Ham, what about you?
I feel like it started last night as well, with those, especially with those kind of games that we had. It's just, all the way hardcore competitive to the wire.
It's amazing how it just revs up like that, just like that, because it unfortunately is drawn out. The NBA season is drawn out. Sure, there are a couple of teams battling to maybe make the postseason or for positioning in the postseason, but that's few and far between. We knew the playoff teams in both the East and the West for a while. So there's not a lot of drama. But now there's drama, and we know what's on the line. And it started with the game in Charlotte because we know, with that game being a 9 versus a 10, that the loser of that game is eliminated. It's a one and done for the loser of that game, whereas the winner doesn't automatically make the playoffs, but they're now in position with one more win to make the playoffs. And I'm talking about the home team, the Charlotte Hornets, who survive an overtime thriller, 127-126. That means the Heat eliminated from NBA playoff consideration in a game that was just wild. The Heat had a lead there. The Hornets came back on the drama at the end of regulation, of course, and then the drama at the end of the overtime session. LaMelo Ball, who many people believe should not even have been in the game, that should have been ejected from the game. We'll talk about that a little bit later here in this conversation. But he makes the game-winning shot on the running layup, and then Charlotte does it on the defensive end with the block shot. Miami, I don't believe, had a timeout. And they went right down the court, took it right to the hole, and the shot was blocked, a combination of a couple of Charlotte Hornets blocking. So you have that defense that comes through for the Hornets. And they were the hottest, well, one of the hottest teams, certainly down the stretch, and they survive at 127-126.
Yeah, it was, again, great game. Obviously, great finish. That three by Kobe White is just ridiculous. and on a night where, the bigger names were really, two of their bigger names were really struggling from three. LaMelo Ball, 2 for 16, which is just insane from three-point range to take 16 threes. We'll make 2 of it. And not a great, I can't say playoff, but postseason debut for Con Kneppel. Not the way he envisioned or they envisioned the postseason beginning for him, as he goes 0 for 6 from three-point range. But, they went out and got Kobe White at the deadline, and he hits the massive fadeaway turnaround 3 to force the overtime period. And then Ball makes the big play in overtime to win that game for him. But, Brandon Miller was fantastic. You had 3 different guys make 5 threes. You think if you have 3 different guys make 5 threes, like, okay, you've won that game easily. But it's, they put up 56 total 3-pointers in the game. And yeah, for a while there, I was like, man, all of this about Charlotte, I kind of like them and everything else, and then they're just going to go out with a whimper, one and done in this. Like, that's not what I was envisioning out of this, but give them credit for coming back and finding a way to win.
Well, to your point, 3 guys hitting 5 threes. Miles Bridges, 5 of 10. Brandon Miller, 5 of 10. And Brandon Miller was terrific. He ended up with 23. And then off the bench, Kobe White, and he hit the big 3 there in front of the bench, falling out of bounds. Just an incredible shot. But if I was to tell you before the game started that LaMelo Ball, to your point, 2 of 16, Con Kneppel, 0 of 6, that they would be a combined 2 out of 22 from 3, and I told you, well, Charlotte would still win, you would never believe me. There's no way that those 2 guys would combine 2 for 22 and they would win the game. But that's exactly what they did, because everybody else picked up for them. Now, Ball still had 10 assists. He still had 5 rebounds. He goes 30 minutes. But Kobe White with 19 points off the bench, 5 rebounds, 3 assists was great. Brandon Miller has been terrific for the whole season. And Diabate, 14 rebounds to go along with 8 points. Miles Bridges was great. He played a team-high 43 minutes, had 28 points, and 9 rebounds. But much to the dismay of the Miami Heat, they only got 11 minutes out of Bam Adebayo after he was injured his back on a play in which a lot of people saw with their own eyes LaMelo Ball grab his ankle. and hold him back. And nothing was called. He was not ejected from the game. And that certainly became a topic of conversation and of controversy, especially because Charlotte won that game. So Ball was in there in the end and ends up getting the game-winning shot.
Yeah, it's. There's no doubt. I mean, the dude reached out and tripped him. Pulled the old Grayson Allen on him. And apparently, I just saw somebody else post. That's the second time he's done that to Bam this year. He actually did it in another game where he reached out and grabbed Bam's leg and tripped him. It's missed by the officials in the pool report. I don't remember who the lead official was, but talked about the fact that without there being a whistle blown there was not a window for them to be able to go and review that play. By the time they got to a next ball, the window had basically expired. And I don't know exactly what that rule is on something like that when they don't have a whistle, because that and live action continues. But no, I mean, it's rather obvious. You look at that replay, I mean, there's no doubt. He grabbed his foot and tripped Bam Adebayo. And yeah, if you do that, that should be, that's generally going to be an ejection if you do that to somebody and you're caught doing it.
You can't miss that. These are supposed to be the best the NBA has. It's the postseason. There's a play on the ground. Somebody, one of those three's got to be looking at that. Whether they swallowed the whistle or not, I don't know. But you cannot miss those calls. I don't know if it was because it's the postseason, they let them get away with it. But what do you think, J-Ham?
When you say you can't miss it, it's really easy to miss, though. Yeah. Because it's so fast.
There's a million things happening on that play.
There's so much that's happening right there. We see it back on the playback, and we're like, of course, how could he miss that? But it's an age-old dirty trick, that decade. Guys have done this for decades. Even when I was playing youth ball, we would do dirty stuff like that. Not, of course, with the intent to hurt, but just trying to gain an advantage of some sort. But it's not cool.
Okay, all right, and I buy all that. I think a lot of people saw it with their own eyes when it was live, when it was happening. Some people saw it. Some people didn't. This is what drives me crazy about NBA and NBA officials. You have a fourth official who's the alternate, and he's sitting on the scores table. I don't understand why. This guy, look, they're murmurs they know something's going on, and he's looking at monitors there. He sees it. I think something should be able to be done. I don't know what the time limit is and all that. I just think that's a crock. It's an easy way for these guys to get out of making a mistake or not making the call when it should have been called. I just don't buy it. This is why I always have problem with NBA officials. I still think they officiate games in the postseason different than they do the regular season. I think they officiate different when it comes to a superstar compared to a regular Joe. The NBA officials have always bothered me. And this was, again, LaMelo Ball, if he's ejected, I don't think there's any doubt Miami's winning that game.
And all that you mentioned, it brings back full circle when I always tell people when they have those complaints, and they're very valid, the NBA is a show. It's not going to be that pure form of basketball that we expect it to be. We have to factor in that show element that they bring into it.
They don't want to lose their stars.
There you go, superstar. They didn't want LaMelo to be out of their game last night.
If that was the ninth guy, is he gone?
F2.
They see it?
No, they weren't going to see it. Like it's virtually impossible.
I don't know about that.
That's impossible. Like it's a
I don't
block
think it's impossible.
It's a block shot. The ball's going out of bounds. It's coming right at an official. He's got to watch to see if it's out of bounds. He's trying to see if it's say whatever. The other guys are way across. It's a very brief moment. He grabs the back of it. Like there's no way in real time to see that he did that on purpose.
They should be able to look at it.
If they could have reviewed it, they would have got it.
Right.
If you're talking about that ninth guy, but like Eli was just saying, it's so rapid. All of that stuff moving.
Okay, I understand. They're not going to see everything, but that's why you have replay. That's why I know they don't use that alternate judge unless somebody has a heart attack, God forbid, out there, and they got to bring him in the game. Use them.
That should be his role.
Exactly.
I agree with you there.
I mean, if we admit that they can't see everything, and they have another person, then I don't understand why you're not utilizing that person. Anyway,
the alternate official doesn't matter. They got a bunch of guys in New York watching.
Well, somebody.
They don't need it. But again, and I don't exactly know what that rule is when, again, there's not a dead ball at the time because play continued. I don't know how that works for them. Again, I just read the pool report from that official, and he said by the time they got to, I guess, a dead ball. The window had expired or whatever. I don't know exactly. Again, I don't know that rule and exactly how that works when there's not a dead ball at the time something happens.
I love the poll reports. All they do is add to the misery of the team that's on the wrong end. Right?
Right.
Thanks for the poll report. That does a lot.
And then the next dead ball was probably like 2 possessions later.
Exactly.
So they couldn't go back to the window for that one.
Exactly. And again, for Miami, look, I don't know how mentally involved they were. I mean, how mentally tuned in they were for the postseason being the 10th seed. Look, the bottom line is they were playing in the postseason. And they could have won that game. I think they were denied that chance. But it doesn't take away from Charlotte, the shot that White hit, the layup that that Ball got, and then the defense, the block shot. So nice win for Charlotte. Again, the Charlotte Hornets.
Zach Zarbo was the lead official. And his answer was, the play wasn't whistled in real time. Play continued with a fast break. Because play wasn't stopped immediately, there was no whistle on that play. The window to review the play was closed. Play was stopped after a change of possession and then a timeout. So by rule, our window to review that play is closed.
Okay, change the rule. Extend the window. Extend the window. If there's any question that something could have happened there, especially they know. People are looking at the replay. They know what's going on. At the next dead ball, be able to go back to it. I don't know.
My question is, does the league do anything to LaMelo Ball for the next game? I mean, you could suspend him for the next game. That, I mean, there's that possibility. As Zach Zarbo said, they actually would it have been. He said, "Listen, at this point, it's up to league operations. Like it's out of our hand. They will look at it. They will make their determination. But I just wonder if they may end up suspending him for the next game."
We've been victimized by that in Memphis before. Remember with Zach with the whole deal with the Steven Adams push, and we found out at 5:00 the next day that he wasn't going to be available for game 7.
See, I hate that. If they screwed up and they missed it in the game, then don't go back in retro and look at it and go, okay, Ball is now going to be suspended for the next game. You guys screwed up. You missed it. He got away with it. Like you said, even on the playground.
So you want him to go back in the game.
In the game. Once the game is over. I don't like once the game is over that you can rule on something from that game, from said game. Once the game is done, the game is done.
And, of course, the most famous one was...
So you could never be suspended?
No, I think if you don't call something within the game, you screwed up. No, you don't go back in retro and suspend the person.
I was going to say the most famous one was the Game 4 NBA Finals from 10 years ago when LeBron and Draymond.
Yeah.
And it ended up costing Draymond Game 5.
When Draymond cost the Warriors another championship.
Right.
I just think with, like you said, all the dudes that are in Secaucus, the alternate official that's there on the scores table, sitting at the scores table, the 3 officials there, everything that's going on, instant replay, reviews, all this stuff. If you can't get that call during the time of the game, and then 2 days later or a day later you're going to judge something, and you didn't call it in the game, so you're going to suspend the guy, possibly LaMelo Ball, who shouldn't have been in there to begin with, and Miami probably would have won the game, so we wouldn't even be talking about Charlotte and LaMelo Ball. I don't buy it. I just don't like it. I don't like it. You screwed up. You missed it. Now don't let LaMelo Ball pay for it. He got away with it. Everybody tries to get away with things. He got away with it. All right. The second game, the Suns and the Trailblazers. Most people had the Suns winning this game. They're playing at home. They were the 7th seed. The Trailblazers, the 8th seed. Portland goes into Phoenix and wins it 114-110. That means Portland is in the playoffs. They will advance to take on the San Antonio Spurs. The Suns are not eliminated, but will have to win their next game, or they will be. And that certainly would be good news for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, Grizzlies would love it if the Suns miss out on the playoffs. That guarantees them of a second lottery pick. If they could get the Suns and Orlando both to miss the playoffs, then they add even more combinations in the draft lottery to allow them to move up. But that was a weird game. It looked, Portland played extremely well there early. Looked like they might have control of the game, and then that stretch at the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter, where they just could not score at all, and the Suns took complete control of the game. Looked like it was over, and then I don't know. Then all of a sudden it changed back again, and Portland makes the run, ends up getting the huge 3-point play by Avdia at the end there to win it. But, Jeremy Grant hit a couple of huge threes there down the stretch. But I'll say, I don't think most people, casual NBA fans, have any idea or appreciation of Denny Avdia, how good he is. Because we don't see Portland. Portland's not on national TV. They may be in the future, but right now, especially going into this year, nobody expected anything. So they're not on TV. That dude, they could not keep him in front of him last night. He got in the lane basically whenever he wanted to and got fouled, scored, or found a teammate basically every time. It was absolutely incredible. He put on an absolute clinic last night, and it didn't matter. They fouled Dylan Brooks out of the game. It didn't matter who tried to guard him. They could not guard him last night.
He's the most quiet star I think there is in the NBA right now. Avdia ends up going for 41 points, but he also gets you 12 assists and 7 rebounds. He's the complete player, JM.
Complete player. He pretty much accounted for over 60 of their points last night just on playmaking, him scoring and dishing and just being a creator.
And hell, he was 8 for 3. If he would have made the free throws early in the game, he would have been approaching 50.
Yeah.
He struggled. Now down the stretch in that fourth quarter, he made them, but there for a while, he couldn't make a free throw.
Also, do not undersell having Drew Holiday on that team.
That man is such a winner.
He's
Everywhere.
a winner. He's been with winning organizations, obviously with the U.S. Olympic team, but with the Celtics, he goes for 21 points. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked they won that game, but I didn't think they would because it was in Phoenix. I thought Devin would have a big game. He would go for maybe a 40-piece. Devin was held to 22. He was 7 of 17 from the field. Of course, I'm talking about Devin Booker. Now, Jalen Green went off. He had 35 points. Overall, from 3, they were just 9 of 25 for 36%, while Portland hit 17 threes. Big difference there.
I think one thing we saw in both of these games is that we saw that where the scouting report would normally be that one single sheet, you may have something on both sides. They're thicker now. Everything is detailed. They're taking guys' strengths away. They made it tough for LaMelo. They're making him shoot shots that LaMelo wants to shoot, but he doesn't need to shoot. Devin Booker, they kind of took him down through it and make someone else beat them other than Devin Booker. Because I'm looking at Devin. Okay, Devin will go give us 30. He'll lead the way. They took that away though. They're not going to beat you with Jalen Green like they would with Devin. So just that little adjustment, like you just mentioned, Greg, in terms of so many games. And now we get to those points to where all of that is in detail and we're taking stuff away.
Yeah,
it matters.
They especially on the defensive end, they take it up a step in the
2
postseason.
steps sometimes.
Yep. Suns now will play the winner. No, the loser of. Wait,
the winner.
The winner. Yeah, the winner. I had it right the first time. They will play the winner of the Clippers-Warriors game tonight. So the Suns will host again. That will be Friday night. They'll play the winner of the Clippers and the Warriors, and that will be the 8th seed in the West. But the 7th seed is sewn up. It is Portland. In the meantime, you have tonight's action, the Magic and the 76ers. The winner is in as the 7th seed. Sixers hosting the Magic, a 2.5-point favorite. Again, the loser not eliminated. The Warriors and Clippers, yes, the loser eliminated from that one in the 9-10 game, as the Clippers at home are a 5.5-point favorite. Great stuff. Great stuff to open up the NBA postseason. We got more on the NBA and college basketball portal news when we return. Once again, big thanks, big shout out to our first hour sponsor. That's Old Dominick Distillery, made in Memphis. 150 years in the making. Started with the Canali family's arrival in Memphis way back when, but the revival began in 2017 when the doors opened to the public. It is a beautiful facility. Go by and take a guided tour and tasting test. Sit in the distillery bar. What a nightcap, right? In that beautiful facility. If you haven't been there, you need to check it out. It is one of the nicest you'll see anywhere. And enjoy one of those award-winning craft spirits and beers as well. They produce Tennessee whiskey, the bourbon whiskey, which is out of this world, the Honeybell citrus vodka, the Formula No. 10 gin. You can get, of course, these products anywhere and now available in so many states and growing each and every day. And tomorrow they got a big event coming up. Old Dominic presents an evening with Fred Minnick. He's an accomplished bourbon critic, and he's a journalist who's written the book called Bottom Shelf, How a Forgotten Brand of Bourbon Saved One Man's Life. You get access to the book signing. There's also some food there with small bites and an old-fashioned or straight pour of your choice to enjoy while listening to Fred Minnick. That's tomorrow at Old Dominic Distillery. Just underway, hour number 1 here on Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening is coming to the Graceland Soundstage. Saturday, May 9th at 8 p.m. Jason's thunderous drumming recalls one of the greatest to ever sit behind the skins, his late father, John Bonham of Led Zeppelin. This is as close as you will ever get to letting the lead out live. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Get your tickets today at GracelandLive.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporting luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector. This traffic brought to you by Old Dominic Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at OldDominic.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. They're still working over here on 55 around 3rd. Could be some delays at times throughout the day. Right now, it's moving I-40 on the Hernando de Soto Bridge coming over from Clinton County, West Memphis. Still crowded right now, but it's moving inbound on Sam Cooper, especially right when you come off the interstate. Bridal season is just around the corner, so shop local here in Memphis at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominic Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Got a text here on the Sissy's Log Cabin listen line, 360-8255, 360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line. Raider Corey said, the players in the league are telling the fans the season is too long. Both of last night's games were full of intensity. We saw defensive aggression. It's awesome to see. my personal opinion, I know it will probably never happen for various reasons, but the regular season needs to be shortened by 10 to 15 games. I can't wait for tonight's doubleheader. Yeah, they will. There's a lot of people, I'm sure, that would believe, probably even players and others, as long as they weren't losing money, as long as their salaries weren't going to be cut, that would love to see the season cut a little bit shorter. But because of money reasons, that is never, ever going to happen.
To that point, Steve Kerr on Sunday said, I know this will not be a popular opinion in the league office, but I will continue to say it. I will continue to say it because it's obvious we need to play fewer games. We need to take 10 games off the schedule. I think it would be a more competitive and healthier league if we played fewer games. Of course, tonight, the Warriors playing with a couple of guys who are battling injuries, and they will be on minutes restrictions. Not only Steph Curry, we talked about that yesterday, but Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, they will be on minutes restrictions. How many minutes? I don't know. We'll find out tonight. In the meantime, for the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard rested the final games of the season. I'm sure they marked it down with some sort of injury, but it was basically load management for Kawhi, who had a great year. And so he's a little bit healthier and rested and ready to go for this game tonight between the Clippers and the Warriors. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with Corey. I agree with Steve Kerr. It drags on at the end. We've known our playoff teams other than we've known actually all 10 teams in each conference for a long time. A long time. Obviously, the play-in will establish the final 2 playoff teams in each of the Eastern and Western Conference. But as far as the teams going to the postseason, we knew for a long time. So last night, if you were watching that game between the Hornets and the Heat, it was a flashback to the Sopranos final episode as Amazon Prime Video's stream of the game went out. It went offline in the overtime session for nearly 2 minutes. And first it was black, then it was the technical difficulties wording on the screen, and we're all wondering what the hell is going on. Now, when the video and audio feeds resumed, LaMelo Ball had scored for a 125-120 lead, so fans missed 22 seconds of playing time, but at least they didn't miss the most dramatic part of that game. And that was, of course, the ending with LaMelo Ball getting the game winner and then the block shot at the very, very end. LeBron James on X. Tell me the game didn't just cut off. Am I tripping? What the hell?
Yeah, I was good. Were you watching it, Jay, at that time? Because I was listening because I was in my car on my way home and I was listening to it on the radio. And I didn't know this had happened until I saw later that stuff on Twitter. So it just went off.
Yeah,
it just went pretty much blank, and then you had like the screen that like to put up, standing by in progress.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
I mean, what are the thing for Prime? Like their first air quotes here playoff game, right. First postseason game. Everybody's looking at it, and that happens. Boy, if they would have missed the very end of that game, my goodness gracious!
A spokesperson for Prime said the issue was caused by a hardware failure in our production truck. Prime Video has exclusive rights to all 6 games in this year's play-in tournament. The streaming service began showing NBA games this season as part of the league's new 11-year, $76 billion media rights deal. And you wonder again why they don't cut down the amount of games.
When I was watching the second game, this has happened to me before. Sometimes on streaming, like the audio and the video get off.
Yeah,
like because there was like my first, like there was one like I'm like, damn, Kevin Harlan's good because he said that was good before the ball went through. I was like, that was amazing. Like, how did he know that was going in? And then I'm like, oh wait a second, okay, now I realize that the audio is not synced, but I like got out of it and went back in, and it was, I don't know if it was perfect, but it was a lot better.
Better than what it was, yeah.
Because I saw a lot of people complaining about that online as well, that it wasn't synced. I'm like, well, since I kind of, like I left Prime, got back into Prime, restarted it, and then it was, I don't know if it was perfectly synced, but it was really darn good.
I think the only one that I haven't experienced it with is Peacock. NBC Peacock. I haven't experienced the lag and delay. I had it with ESPN, had it on the HBO Max app and Prime as well, but I hadn't seen it with Peacock yet.
I've had it with ESPN a number of times, and you a lot of times with ESPN, like even if I go out of it and come back in, it doesn't fix it. Like Prime, it pretty much fixed it immediately.
Especially during college football, it was just like it would always. One time I was like almost a play behind on audio.
Well, and it's funny too when you watch basketball because you'll like hear the ball clink off the rim, but it hasn't got to the rim. You're like, wait a second, and it ruins all the drama. If I'm like, I hear the ball's already clinked off the rim, and the ball's in the air as I'm watching it.
I'm hearing a crowd roar, but I'm seeing the play still ran.
I don't have any. I've never experienced. I don't think recently since I went to DirecTV Stream, the sync issue. What I get a lot of times is kind of the circle of death when it says the network is like loaded or crowded or something like that, to that effect. It says something like that. And then all of a sudden it pauses and you could be in the middle of a show you're watching. You could be in the middle of a sporting event, which is not good. And then it takes a little bit before it buffers, I guess. And then it's okay after that. But that happens an awful lot.
And they said it was 22 seconds last night. That's a possession.
Oh, they missed a full possession.
When you're watching that and it's a dramatic game, it's in overtime, you're freaking out. You're like, you don't know when it's going to come back up. You're like, what's going on? Like, imagine if you're a fan of one of the teams, like you're like watching this, you're like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? Like, you're rushing to your phone. Like, I need to know what the hell's happening here. And then, like, when something pops back up, you're like, okay, what just happened?
Well, at least it came back on and we got the conclusion, unlike The Sopranos, which ended. That's it. We don't know what happened. I don't know if you're a Sopranos fan, but that's exactly what happened. Remember, it went to black, and people were like freaking the hell out. But that was all in the the deal. That the producer, I forget the producer, David, whatever his name was. That was all part of it. That was all part of the plan, and they got us, man. They got us bad. I hate that. I want a conclusion. Right? I want a conclusion.
Even if I don't like the conclusion.
Exactly.
Give me something to not like.
Give me a damn conclusion. I don't want to have to think about like what the possibilities are. Well, we want to make you think about, it could be this, could be that. Shut up.
Now, I have fun with that too with some shows. Some, not all of them. Sometimes because they can leave you down different avenues. Sometimes I'm cool with that, but not like with The Sopranos, no.
Oh, no. I want a conclusion for everything. I want it tied up in a neat little bow. The other thing that bothers me, if a series is going for, let's say, 2 seasons and they write it as if they think they're going to get a 3rd season and then they're denied that 3rd season and there's all kinds of questions left after 2. And you go, wait, there's no more show? I hate that because you're invested in that show.
That's kind of how that was with Winning Time, that series on the Lakers.
Oh, yeah, I watched it.
It's kind of like what that would be, but it was like, I know how it ends, but I want to see how y'all lay it out.
Right. I mean, there's certain things in life that you know how they end. Sports, war, things like that. In the past, you know how it ended. In World War II, you're not going to have a different ending. So you know how it ends. But in some of these other shows, like, oh, come on, man. I don't want to be thinking about your 18 different possibilities as a writer that you've come up with for the ending. I want to know what the damn ending is. All right. Memphis basketball. Make that little transition from the NBA to Memphis Tigers basketball. Of course, we don't know what the ending will be until the ending takes place. But we do know that a new team is being assembled by Penny Hardaway, who's been given the opportunity to coach this team for a 9th season. And while it has been quiet, yesterday got a little noisy for Memphis, as according to reports, they're bringing in 2 so far. There'll be many more, but 2 players through the transfer portal. One of them is from Latvia, a 6'7" shooting guard who played at Washington State, Rahards Vavers, who made threes at a 41% clip. He was a top 30 three-point shooter last year. He averaged 11.5 points per game. What do I say, J.M., about give me shooters?
As soon as I saw him come across, I was like, I know Greg will like this.
Oh, gosh. I don't care if they're 6'2" or 6'7". I mean, I think it adds to it that he's got the size.
When I saw 6'7" in Latvia, I said, my man don't like it.
Does he have a buzz cut? Anyway.
Not quite the buzz cut, but he's good enough.
41% three-point shooter. Get a couple of more of those guys, and you got to be feeling really good about this team. They can only go up, right, Eli, from a three-point shooting standpoint. And then they brought in a guy from Pitt, a transfer guard by the name of Brandon Cummings, who goes by Biba. He commits to Memphis, 6'3", sophomore. He averaged 12.5 points. He had some huge games. He had a 29-point game against Syracuse. He put up a 30-burger, 30-plus against another team, but against Syracuse, obviously, within the battle of the ACC. So Cummings, who I've heard of, Vevers, who I have not heard of, 2 new additions, according to several reports out there, for the University of Memphis.
Yeah, just looking at the numbers for both guys, there's a lot to like. Absolutely anybody shooting over 40% from 3 on a good volume of attempts. You like to see that. He made 66 threes, shooting at that percentage. So certainly, like him. Brandon Cummings, not great shooting numbers, but the one thing I like about Cummings is a very low turnover rate. This team, these 2 guys, again, there's plenty more to go, but they addressed 2 of the big issues that the Tigers had last year, a lack of shooting and turnover issues. And Cummings last year, a turnover rate of just over 11%. By comparison, Doug McDaniel for the Tigers was over 18% turnover rate. So that's, the only Tiger that had a lower turnover rate than Brandon Cummings last year was Sincere Parker. And he didn't have the ball in his hands nearly as much as a guy like Brandon Cummings did. So a point guard who doesn't turn it over a whole lot, a guy on the wing who can shoot the basketball at a very high rate. Certainly two on paper, 2 very nice additions for Penny and company.
And I wonder how much, if at all, Gabriel Harris had his hands on this. I would think that he has, even though he has not been with the team for that long. I am assuming he's with the team now, but I don't know for sure physically if he's with, but through the world of technology, he has been with the team now for probably 2 weeks after he finished up his duties with the Stockton Kings as their general manager, G League team of the Sacramento Kings. But I will assume, and I'll hopefully find that information out, that he had his finger on the pulse of these decisions. That he was because that's why you're bringing him in, to make these decisions, or at least to steer Penny in the right direction of, here's your options. I think this is probably the way to go, and then Penny signs off on it. I would imagine that's how the dynamics work. Penny still gets the final say, but Gabriel Harris is there to look at not only the players and their ability, but from a financial standpoint, what you can afford, what you still need for the rest of your roster. They got a ways to go. But with these 2, with the return of Thetford and Wharton, with Cello Jackson and Fred Smith, and we had Fred on the show yesterday. If you missed the interview, you could check it out on the website. Go under featured audio, or you can listen to our hour 3 of the podcast, Sports 56 Mornings podcast, with Fred and Cello, who may sign today or in the next couple of days. They're going to sign officially. That's a half dozen players. That's what you have. We still don't know exactly what Bradshaw is doing. He has not, at least publicly, come out and said he's in the portal, nor has there been any sort of inkling that he's coming back. We've heard that, I think Jason Munz had said it's doubtful he'll be back, but still nothing yet concrete from him. But right now, you look at the other guys, that's 6. So you got a long way to go. They have a player coming in on Friday that they're bringing in from San Jose State who's a scorer, but slowly but surely putting together this team for the 27-28 or the 26-27 season, which is going to be a pivotal season. There's no question it'll be a pivotal season for Penny Hardaway. The expectations are they win the American Conference, and no other expectations as far as being anything lower. No, have a good season, be over 500, finish in the top 3. No, it's win the conference tournament like they did 2 seasons ago, and get to the NCAA tournament. After that, we can debate. But for them, and for Penny's sake, it's getting back to the NCAA tournament. But a good start. Again, I don't know these guys like the back of my hand. I do know 41% three-point shooting, and I like it. and I do like a lower turnover margin from a point guard. And again, whether or not this is the guy that's going to run the point or is going to be a backup, I have no idea yet. But at least Memphis is on the board when it comes to the portal. Speaking of the portal, Arkansas has added another player, high-scoring Georgia transfer Jeremiah Wilkinson. So they stay within the SEC to bring in him. Huge news for UConn. Silas Demery Jr. returning to play for Danny Hurley.
Yeah, good for them. It's again, they do a pretty good job with retention. That's a big one to retain right there.
And the other thing is, I read yesterday where with Michigan, Mara has still not announced he's going to be available for the NBA draft, and neither has Johnson, right?
Nope.
Neither of the bigs. I think that would be an upset if Mara stayed, because he's now being projected definitely top 20, somewhere in the teens. And with Johnson, I think more or less possibly late first round, maybe early second.
Now, Michigan is they've overtaken Duke as the favorite for next year's national championship because of what they've added in the portal, but also because those guys have not yet declared. Mm-hmm. So to look at what their potential starting lineup with Cadeau already announcing that he's coming back, it's pretty impressive what they could have for next year. Evan Maekawa did a story yesterday about the portal and the value of different players, which is a very interesting thing that we'll be getting to coming up after the break. But it's very interesting. It applies to Aaron Bradshaw and why I would think that there's a good chance that he would be in the portal because of what people are paying for big men in the portal, for centers in the portal, versus point guards and other guys in the portal. And that's a big part because of the way things unfolded last year in the world of college basketball. It is breakfast time, and if you're thinking about breakfast here in Memphis, you should always be thinking about Sunrise, either one of the two locations. Sunrise, the original on Jefferson Avenue, or Sunrise East in East Memphis on Poplar Avenue, where you can go get some delicious breakfast or lunch. As a matter of fact, you can get great lunch there as well. Breakfast menu includes those great biscuit sandwiches along with the kitchen sink and the breakfast bowls, all kinds of different items on there, and absolutely delicious. But those biscuit sandwiches, they're big old house-made biscuits that they have. The lunch menu, including many great sandwiches and salads on that lunch menu. You can also get it for catering. You got Mother's Day coming up. If you want to maybe do a little catering for Mother's Day, a little breakfast or lunch, well, you certainly could do that with the folks at Sunrise. They will take good care of you. If you go to sunrise901.com, you can get information about catering. You can order catering online. You can just order any of your food online to make it easy for you and quick for you. If you're on your way to work and wanted some of that delicious breakfast, well, go online, sunrise901.com, place that order. When you get there, you pop in the side door, grab your food, and you'll be on your way in the blink of an eye. Again, you got two locations. Sunrise, the original, that's at 670 Jefferson Avenue. Sunrise East at 5469 Poplar Avenue. They're open 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. daily at Sunrise.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme Cannabis, that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
Let me ask you something.
I bet it's Central Barbecue related.
It is Central Barbecue related.
Shoot.
You don't want me to ask you a Central Barbecue related question?
No, I mean shoot as in go ahead and ask.
Oh, you can be very confusing.
Ask your question.
Which one of Central Barbecue sauces is your favorite?
That's a trick question because, you know, Central Barbecue slogan is smoke is our sauce, so you don't really even need a sauce.
Other than smoke, what's your favorite sauce?
I can't do all of them all. Mild, hot, mustard, vinegar, hot vinegar, sweet heat, all of them.
And that is how you make a Central Barbecue radio commercial.
Memphis is a love song to soul and style. With the full suite of sought-after designers, brilliant natural diamonds, an elegant bar, luxury VIP lounge, and more, a trip to our store is an experience like no other. Just like this city we love. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience Sissy's for yourself. Memphis is our home, and we're your jeweler.
Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
That's me in the corner.
So Eli and I were both looking at the same story yesterday. Go to evanmaya, MIYA.com, and check this out. The NIL market for college basketball is now up 65% from last offseason. You got the breakdown really of positions, but I don't know. It's got to slow down at some point, but 65% increase from last offseason as far as the NIL market.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps going up. At some point it'll have to plateau, you think, but obviously the limits on revenue sharing go up, will continue to go up. And so that increases the money pool that is out there for players and everything else. But yeah, the breakdown by position I found interesting because basically what he does is he a comparable player. So a player based off analytics, what their production value is on the court, as he calls them, as the way he set it up was what the current market is based off what he's hearing, talking to people, everything out there. The current market for what a $1 million player is. So a player based off production that just setting the number at 1 million. A $1 million center right now is going for 1.3 million, whereas a $1 million point guard you can get for 813,000. So teams are, and I'm really surprised that point guard is the lowest number right now. The teams are not valuing the point guard. Center is number 1. Small forward is number 2. Power forward is 3. Then shooting guard 4 and point guard at 5. And again, this goes to Aaron Bradshaw. Right now, teams are overpaying for big. No surprise. Again, when you see what Michigan just did with the bigs that they had and the year Arizona had and so on and so forth, that teams, it's a copycat world out there. Teams are like, okay, these teams with the big front lines were really good. Yeah. We need to do this. So there's, overpaying for centers out there where, again, the point guards are getting a little bit discounted out there. They're the blue light specials on point guards out there in the transfer portal. But that's, I'm not surprised that centers are being overpaid. I'm just surprised point guards are being that undervalued. It used to be the whole thought was in the NCAA tournament, got to have a great point guard. And it was the point guard of Michigan who was the most outstanding player of the Final Four when they win. So that's what it's like. Yeah, I understand what the bigs did, but they also had a point guard who was awesome. And to see point guard as the least valued position is really surprising to me.
I would have to think that they believe through his data system and being able to compare a center to a point guard, which seems impossible to do. But again, this system is really cool. That there is a gluttony of point guards. That there's more point guards that fall into that category that would be available as opposed to the centers, because it's certainly supply and demand. You're right. It's a copycat world, and teams are now going to look at the Michigan model and certainly look to strengthen their front line. But maybe it's just that with point guards, there's so many of them, they feel they can get a bargain on a point guard. And again, comparatively speaking, as you said, the center's going for 1.3. Now, some you might be able to get for 1.3, and really when it's all said and done, they're really worth a $2 million value. But some may be worth a lot less than 1.3. Good luck if somebody's paying 1.3 for Bradshaw.
And again, this goes to his numbers are slightly different than the numbers that Jeff Goodman had tweeted about with talking to some coaches and GMs. The bigs were still getting the big money in his conversations. He was talking about the elite players in his as well. He had the elite, like top 25 portal guys. He had projected the big men at $4 to $5 million. He had point guards second at $3 to $4 million, and then the wings at $2.5 to $3 million. So now again, that's the elite, whereas Maekawa is looking at
the average,
everybody,
right.
As far as that is concerned, and kind of averaging that. So it's a little bit of a different situation that they're comparing here, but there's no doubt that big men are getting the money. And again, the elite point guards, according to Goodman, are getting the money, whereas the, I guess, middle of the pack point guards are not getting that. They're being undervalued, according to the stuff that Maekawa came with.
Another thing that came out of this report that I thought was very interesting is that the rate for power conference players is up 73%. So playing in big conferences at big time programs is certainly helping the value of those particular players. Where they come from is extremely important. For example, Charlotte. Now, Charlotte, obviously, Wes Miller had the connection with Jizzle James, but he came from Cincinnati. He went from a Big 12 to an American and a good player, not some guy who's 15th on the team that just happened to be on a power conference team and then was looking for playing time and whatever else to go to a mid-major. This was a guy playing well on a Big 12 team that followed his coach to Charlotte after his coach was let go.
And the thing, too, those numbers for big men could very well be the reason why that Adai Mara and Maurice Johnson have not declared for the NBA draft. That if big men are getting paid like that, and you're two big men on the team that just won the national championship, you stand to get paid pretty darn well.
But think about this. If Goodman's report is correct that the highest caliber centers are getting paid, what did you say, 4 to 5?
Mm-hmm.
That is some schools, that's probably more than the entire budget they have for the basketball program. And I'm talking about Division I schools. Memphis is above that, but
most schools.
There's a lot of schools that don't. Well, you have to. I mean, to keep up with the Joneses, you have to elevate it somewhat. But if you're throwing
every one of the mid-major and below, that they're not going to have that much money.
Yeah.
So
What does Memphis have? If they could throw $4 or $5 million to a center, Memphis certainly can't throw $4 to $5 million. But Memphis can pay a lot more than many of these schools can at their level. So there is going to be, and will continue to be, a disparity and a widening gap between those that can afford and those that can't. Pete Thamel reporting the NCAA Division I cabinet will hold a further discussion today on age-based eligibility. This idea would essentially eliminate red shirts, give college athletes 5 years of eligibility starting when you graduate high school or when you turn 19. Again, it's got some hoops to jump through before this becomes the law of the land, but it looks like we're trending in that direction. Hey, everybody, ready to see the USA in a new All-Star Chevrolet this summer? Olive Branch has it all right here in one place. A new Traverse, a Tahoe, Suburban with that third-row seating, new Silverados with April deals that add up to thousands in savings. Financing as low as 1.9. Go big with the new HD Silverado. Make no payments for 90 days because your good credit deserves it. Military and first responders, you always get a $500 bonus at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Nobody beats the All-Star Chevy certified and pre-owned selection. Every commercial Chevy truck and cargo van you want is ready to get to work for you and your business today. and all the certified or pre-owned Tahoes, Trailblazers, Silverados, Equinox, and Corvettes. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, you bring it to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Get the most money for it today. So together, let's drive. Don't miss the work or vacation event going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet and online at allstarautogroup.com. DeMichael Cole joins us to open up Hour 2. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, yeah.
If wedding bells are in your future, you need an unforgettable engagement ring from a jeweler you can trust. And that's been James Gaddis Jewelers for over 60 years. With a huge selection and the best prices, James Gaddis is a master jeweler and diamondologist. Beautiful jewelry from James Gaddis is always the right choice. Choose from rings to earrings, necklaces to bracelets, and gemstones to watches. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar, online at GaddisJewelers.com and Instagram at Gaddis Jewelers. Say I do at James Gaddis Jewelers.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Hey Memphis, Tyler Harrington from Memphis Baseball. When you need a financial teammate who's got your back, choose Southern Security Credit Union. From great rates to friendly local service, they deliver every time. Visit southernsecurity.org or call 901-452-7900 to join today. Southern Security Credit Union, your home team credit union, is a proud supporter of Memphis Athletics and 901 Women and is federally insured by the NCUA.
This traffic report brought to you by Lauren Tag Hill of Ware Jones Realty. If you're buying a house or selling one and want fast action, contact Lauren Hill at warejones.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, T-Dot's trying to untangle a couple of accidents out here. More volume in the last few minutes, especially on 240 coming past Mill Branch as that traffic continues to build up from the south on 55 going northbound up through South Haven as you continue on 55 here up by State Line Road. A bridal season just around the corner. Shop local here in Memphis at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Wednesday, April 15th, 2026 edition. Tax day. Did you do your taxes? You better have. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, J Ham with you. We are broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. 68 degrees, going to warm up to 84 today. Breezy, very warm with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Then tonight, breezy. Otherwise warm with increasing clouds. A thunderstorm in the area is possible later tonight into the wee hours of Thursday. Tomorrow, 55% chance of some precipitation. Could be a thunderstorm, the high 83, then up to 89 on Friday with mostly sunny skies. Still a little bit of a chance for some precip, about 25% chance. Saturday looks like it's going to be rain, it's going to be thunderstorms. Not nice right now looking at that forecast, although Sunday looks perfect. Sunny and 68. That's the one that you could sign me up for. Sunday, sunny with a high of 68 degrees. Michael Cole joins us in just a second. Do want to tell you that Hour 2 is brought to you by the great folks at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They're your family's jeweler. Generations and generations of the same family have purchased jewelry from James Gaddis Jewelers. They've been around for 60 years, so they know what they're doing, right? If you are looking for that special engagement ring, wedding ring, personally designed wedding sets, make sure James Gaddis Jewelers is one of the jewelers you check out. They're full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you. They understand there's a lot of competition, so they make sure they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. If you're looking for a special gift for that special someone, maybe a watch, they sell both men and women's watches, beautiful watches, but all types of gemstones. They have all types of bracelets and necklaces and earrings and pendants and one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry, antique jewelry as well. You need to just browse around, see what they have to offer. Say hi to James and tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings for all your jewelry needs. James Gaddis Jewelers, open Monday through Friday 10 to 5, Saturday 10 to 4, closed on Sunday. Time now for DeMichael Cole.
2 watches, that's 12. Come through and slam on you. I'm in the air.
It's time to talk some Grizzlies basketball. Joining Greg and Eli is DeMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Here's DeMichael with Greg and Eli.
He is DeMichael Cole. He covers the Grizzlies for the Commercial Appeal. He's the co-host of the Locked On Grizz podcast, among many other duties that he has over at the CA. In fact, you see him every year at the golf tournament as well, coming up in August. You can follow him on Twitter at DeMichaelC. He joins us every Wednesday here on Sports 56 Mornings. Are you happy, DeMichael, or just relieved that the season is over, or are you depressed? Where are you? Where do you stand after that rough year? Good morning.
Good morning, guys. I guess somewhere between happy and relieved. Probably more relieved because I was telling someone that towards the end of the season, it's like, man, it's wild because, you know, I typically love my job. Like, I love coming to the games and going to, you know, events centered around, you know, what the Grizzlies do and enjoying them. And this season and the 2023-24 season are like the only time I can really remember, like, counting down to the last game of the season.
I think you're right. I think fans were doing it, the media, other than the beat writers, we were doing it as well. It was long, it was tedious, it was it hurt at times. So Monday you were there for the exit interviews. Zach Kleiman, you know, some things that were, I think, worthwhile to reiterate, but for the most part, it was coach speak. But what main tidbits did you come out of those meetings with?
Well, everyone tries to focus on, I guess the best way to say it is the answers in terms of wanting them to be direct and whatnot, right? And at the end of the day, you've heard Zach Kleiman speak, you know, for years, and especially on certain topics, I don't think most or any GM is going to give a direct answer. Sometimes when you ask a question like, will Ja Morant be on the team next season?
Right.
However, you know, what I've learned is sometimes non-answers can be just as revealing as the answers. And while, yeah, what you said pretty much in terms of a lot of it was quote-unquote coach speak and things like that, I still found a lot of those things to be very revealing, particularly, you know, that situation, you know, centered around Ja, the answers about the future of the team, you know, the direction of the team. So it was somewhat revealing. Again, it wasn't flashy, right? It wasn't anything groundbreaking that was really new. But when we asked about Ja, and Kleiman basically said he doesn't want to discuss any potential transactions, which is fair. But then I asked if Ty Jerome will be on the team next season. Worded a little bit differently, but essentially the same question, and he says absolutely. So that is telling in itself, and that was probably the biggest thing for me. It's just because the answers weren't as direct as some people probably wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Still revealing enough to get something out of it.
And along that line, when he went into talking about the open communication, professional communication, all that between him and Ja's camp. So I take that to mean that, we've been very clear to him of what our plans are, our plans to move him in the offseason.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those things when you talk about reading between the lines and whatnot of what's said, Eli, that's another thing that stood out. I really want to see if I can get the exact quote, because I think I asked him about the jersey situation.
Yeah, and he went directly. Yeah, he didn't address that at all. He went directly just into communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what he said was basically, let's see, what does the quote say? I have it right here. Yeah, he says, ever since the deadline, everyone sat down and there's been open and honest, respectful communication all the time with Ja and with his camp. That was the first sentence. The second sentence stood out a little bit more to me. And it says, I think you see some of these situations around the league. It's really easy for miscommunication to happen. And then he goes back into, throughout the entirety of this stretch, I think Ja's been a pro. He's attacked his rehab. He's done everything, all that. Why would that second sentence be in there? I think you see some of these situations around the league. It's really easy for miscommunication to happen. That had, it had something to do with it, but he was talking about how the communication has been honest and respectful. And then he says, I think sometimes you see, it's really, really easy for miscommunication to happen. Maybe he was saying that that's not the case in this situation. That very well could be what he was saying, but I don't think, if that's what he was saying, it was clear enough that he was saying that. But again, it just led me to believe that communication, may have been some type of factor in that whole jersey situation or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it wasn't much else to get from that.
Yeah, and because I brought the other day when he says in situations like these or whatever, it's like, you mean in a situation where a player and a team know that their time has come to an end and they're about to be traded? Like, because he just says in situations like this, like what exactly situation are you referring to?
It's very rare, and that's why it's a tough thing. Yeah, it's a tough thing to answer. But yeah, in situations like this, yeah. So it's there, right? Like we see it for what it is, and quite frankly, I think if people don't, they're just kind of denying it, and I get it. I'm a fan of some teams too, and I remember, when my Braves were about to go into our rebuild, and we traded away Craig Kimbrell and Justin Upton and those guys, and I said, we're not going to trade Craig Kimbrell. Like, we got this young former Rookie of the Year closer. We're not trading him. I don't care what these reports say. So it's like, I get it, but at the same time, it's right there in your face.
It's interesting to hear Kleiman talk about communication when this organization, I think, does a poor job of communication. And I didn't buy his answer about when he was asked something about the players around the league. I guess he was referring to the LeBron thing, or somebody was referring to the LeBron thing. And he said, we could throw out a hollow statement and all that. Yeah, we'll throw out a hollow statement. Say something. I didn't buy what he said. I really did not. I still think that something should have, whether or not you wanted to address LeBron's comments directly, I think that something about the city or something should have been said. Now, Eli brought up, well, they hold the cards in the negotiations for the lease, and they do.
Yeah.
But I said, I don't think saying anything positive about the city of Memphis or saying something to the effect of, yeah, we don't buy what the negative things being said about the city. We love it here in Memphis. I don't think that hurts them at all with negotiations. They have the upper hand. Everybody knows they have the upper hand with this city in their negotiations for the new lease. I think something should have been said. And and we got an absentee owner. That's the way it is. Some sports teams have absentee owners. Others have owners that are so involved that you hate it, like Eli's Cowboys with Jerry Jones. Some are too involved. But Parra's almost like he's not even a real person. But I thought something should have been said.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that something should have been said, rather definitively, speaking on the matter. But, you can't dismiss the idea that, they are involved in the lease negotiations and whatnot. So that is part of the conversation here. But at the same time, you definitely, got to say something like in that situation. If I'm mad, at my younger sibling, that still doesn't mean I'm going to let them get in a bad situation and just stand there and look and be like, well, you shouldn't have made me mad earlier. Like,
exactly.
So you still say something in that situation, and I think it would have been a good look for the Grizzlies, and it would have been kind of just a reflective look in just the entire situation. So I've had a lot of people who kind of ask me like, why haven't the Grizzlies said anything? Why haven't they said anything?
Mm-hmm. All right, look, I know this topic is water under the bridge, the whole jersey giveaway on the night of the fan appreciation night against the Cavaliers, but I do want to ask you, because we kind of debated it yesterday, about whether do you believe that Ja was ready to do the jersey swap with the fans, or not jersey swap, but the jersey giveaway, and then he was denied by the organization, or that they asked him and he said no, he doesn't want to do it? What is your thoughts on what went down? And then if it is that they denied him, I don't understand why, because it was going to be the last interaction I think he would have with fans.
Yeah, I don't think they asked him, but here's the thing. You gotta go back to a couple things, or I guess occurrences before this one, to kind of really gotta get the full picture of this landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ja wasn't at the MVP season event party as well. That's the end of season thing that the Grizzlies have for all the season ticket holders, right? They take pictures with the players, engage with them, and it was at the zoo this year.
Mm-hmm.
But none of the injured players were there, were they?
Yeah. It was, I think, Brandon Clark.
Edie wasn't there. I don't believe
there were a few others. I can't really remember all the names off the top of my head. But yeah, it was a couple guys, like you said, who have recently had procedures. I think, like you said, Edie. I think Scottie Pippen Jr., since they had recently had their procedures, they weren't there as well. So Ja wasn't the only one, but again, it's a little more telling when it is Ja, especially at a season ticket holder party. The last time all your season ticket holders are going to be, at an event by the Grizzlies. Then this time, this event came, and the facts are the facts. The facts are 10 players were chosen. And also, the facts are, in some previous years, if you watched the Grizzlies kind of do this situation, like, it's usually not selected players. So that was different. And it was also telling. Now, you can convince me that, they have a bunch of injured guys, and they had a bunch of, I think at the time of the event, they had 22 guys on the roster, technically with all the 10 days and whatnot.
22.
So, yeah, you got to choose 10 out of 22. But at the same time, why in the world wouldn't Ja Morant be a part of that 10?
Right.
Especially if he was there. I mean, and Ja basically stayed and watched it. You know, like as the players, he's on the bench. He's just looking. So it's obvious, you know, to people. It's telling to people. And quite frankly, it was telling. It pretty much looked like he was saying, "Hey, I would have participated." Because he was sitting right there.
That's what I'm
thinking.
thinking.
No, I don't think it. Yeah, no, I don't think it was. He denied it. But again, he didn't do the season end of season MVP party. He wasn't at this either. So
wasn't available Monday.
He wasn't at exit interviews. So what you're seeing is pretty obvious, and that is there's this disconnect where the Grizzlies really don't want him kind of in those positions, whether they are afraid he's going to say something that's going to blow back on them, or they're trying to, make this as less uncomfortable as they possibly can. Whatever it is, it's pretty obvious that things aren't regular.
Right. They don't want a giveaway where the biggest crowd and the biggest noise is being made in a good way for that guy who they know is not going to be a part of the organization. It's like, we'd rather just keep him behind the enemy lines. We don't want him out there because we know that the fans are going to rally behind him. It's like you said earlier. There are a lot of fans out there that still believe that he could be a part of the future and want him to be a part of the future, like you talked about with Kimbrel and the Braves. There are people out there that are going to be distraught when he's traded, yet either they don't want to hear what people are saying, like yourself, a beat writer who knows the intricacies of what's going on within the organization, or either they don't want to hear it or they're naive to the situation. But that is reality. It would be the biggest shocker if all of a sudden camp opens up and John Moran is still on the team.
Yeah, that at this point, that is a bigger shocker than him being traded, and that wasn't always the case.
Right.
But yeah, you just look. There are so many signs there, and we've pretty much hit on all of them in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That are there that just aren't normally how you treat your franchise star player.
No, you're right.
If Ja's the franchise star player, he's speaking at exit interviews. He's pretty much your voice of the team, of the players. I mean, what he says is kind of taken as the word, from a player standpoint with the Grizzlies. And then, again, you have a fan base that, we're just being honest, that is a little uneasy right now with how the fact that they haven't won a playoff game in the last 3 seasons. You've missed the playoffs. I mean, not even close to the playoffs in 2 of those years. You barely made the playoffs in 1 of those years, and you got swept. So you have a fan base that is uneasy because they're tired of the injury excuse. They're tired of, constantly seeing a team that's constantly falling short, of expectations. And they want more, and that's fine because you had this core in place that, quite frankly, some will look back and say, underachieved. And when you peel the layers back even further, it's frustrating for what I call the OG Grizzly fans, because the grit and grind era, the one thing you can say about that core 4 group in that era is they milked every inch of talent out of their body. Like, you can't look back at the core 4 era and say, man, they underachieved, or they could have did this. I think they, from a talent standpoint,
overachieved.
8 seed beating 1 seed, getting to the Western Conference Finals that year when I don't think many people, if any, had them projected to get there. Like, they just overachieved. Yeah. So that's what makes this era a little bit more frustrating too. But yeah, look, you don't treat a star player like this if, you have these big plans, for them. So, yeah, all of this has kind of been just really telling.
DeMichael, with the fact that Phoenix lost last night, now there's a chance that they could lose again and be out of the playoffs. Orlando could also. We'll see what they do in the play-in. But let me get. I think I've got this straight, and I don't know for sure if you know exactly the deal. Say Phoenix ends up in the lottery.
Yep.
And say Phoenix gets lucky as hell and jumps up to the number 1 pick. The Grizzlies would not get that pick, right? Because Washington has the first swap rights with Phoenix. Is that not correct?
Right. Washington has the first swap right.
Okay. So then in that case, if Phoenix jumped up to number 1, the Grizzlies would get Washington's pick?
No. Well, yeah, they have swap rights with. Yep, that's it. Yep.
Okay. Because
that's the only way that the Grizzlies could potentially get that pick. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know it gets like there's like level because it's like Orlando gets to swap. It's like the Washington gets to swap, then Orlando gets to swap, then the Grizzlies get to swap. It's so confusing, and I've been trying to figure that out. I'm like, I don't even understand all this situation. But I mean, in the end, though, the Grizzlies could end up in a very good situation if Orlando and Phoenix both miss the playoffs. It just adds combinations that can help the Grizzlies.
Yeah, that's your best case scenario there, because the thing with the Washington factor, it is a factor, but I mean
it's only if Phoenix jumped ahead of Washington, which is very unlikely.
Washington is the number one right now, I believe.
Yeah.
So given that, the lowest Washington can drop is number 5. And considering the very minute chance of Phoenix jumping into the top 4, that part, I mean, it's anything's going to be possible. But again, no team. I think 11 is the highest that has ever jumped into the top 4. 12 or 13 or 14 still since the odds got flattened for the top 3 in 2019. 12, 13, or 14 have not jumped into the top 4. But of course, it's possible. But yeah. With that being said, you're 100% right. That's pretty much how that situation lays out. And yeah, if you're the Grizzlies, you're hoping for the Suns and the Magic to lose, because not only would you get potentially the odds of the 14th best odds, but if you get 2 of those teams in there, you get 13 and 14. And if one of those teams jumps into the top 4, I mean that could really work out well for you.
You guys are making my head hurt. There's too much stuff going on, man. There's too much stuff swirling around in the head. We'll let DeMichael do all the hard work. Check him out at the Commercial Appeal. He's the Grizzlies beat writer. Also, the co-host of the Locked On Grizz podcast. He's with us every single week. Next week, we'll talk about the NBA playoffs, but we'll also talk about the future of the Grizzlies and the possibilities for what could happen in the offseason. It will be a busy one. It will be an important one, and DeMichael will have you covered. Catch him every Wednesday right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thanks, DeMichael.
All right, take care, guys.
You too.
Yeah, the thing...
Man, my head's swirling with all that.
The thing to remember in the whole situation, again, because again, everybody always just assumes Washington's not really a part of it because everybody assumes they're going to pick ahead of these teams, which, in all likelihood, they will. Like, it would take a miracle, basically, for Phoenix to jump ahead of them. And Orlando versus Washington doesn't matter. What the Grizzlies will get is either it will be the best of the Orlando pick over here. Over here, you've got the least favorable of the Suns and Wizards. Those are your 2 things. The best of those 2 combinations. So if Orlando is ahead of both of them, you get Orlando's pick. If the Suns were to jump up again, Washington would switch with the Suns, and then the Grizzlies would basically fall into Washington's original place. So there are 3 teams that theoretically the Grizzlies could go into their spot. So like the night the draft lottery's held, and these teams are, again, we don't even know if Phoenix and Orlando will be in the lottery. We still have to figure that out. But if they both were to end up in there, there are 3 different teams that could come up where the Grizzlies actually fill that spot.
Gotcha.
So it's a confusing thing. But again, in all likelihood, it's either going to be the Magic's pick or the Suns pick, and the Wizards will end up not participating in that because it would take for the Suns to jump ahead of the Wizards in order for that to happen. And that's probably not, because the Suns and Orlando, if they both miss the playoffs, I think they have the exact same record, if I'm not mistaken. They will tie for 13th and 14th. And so I think there's like a total of like 15 combinations out of 1,000 that those 2 teams would split. So their chances of moving up, not great, but again, it is 15 more combinations that the Grizzlies would have. Folks, when it comes to everything in the world of firearms, Classic Arms is the place to go. You could go see them out in Cordova, right behind Corky's Barbecue. That's the place to go. Or you can find them online, classicarmsofmemphis.com. All the top brand names, all types of guns, from shotguns to rifles to handguns, whatever. Big guns, little guns, old guns, new guns, used guns and new guns. They've got it. Not only do they sell, but they also buy and they trade as well at Classic Arms. Also free gun inspections and free gun appraisals. They do it all if it deals with firearms, and all the supplies as well. They've got it at Classic Arms. 1740 Germantown Parkway. That's right behind Corky's Barbecue. Or online, as I mentioned, classicarmsofmemphis.com, where you could shop 24/7 at Classic Arms.
Lee, if you can hang on through the break, we'll go to you first when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
A long life is wonderful, but it comes with changes as you age. So when you're ready to change your home, Town Village Audubon Park is the perfect choice. Incredible location, amazing amenities, including a pool, all-inclusive dining, and on-site medical care so you can age in place. Monthly rental with no buy-in lets you make current choices. Apartments include full kitchen, washer and dryer, bi-weekly housekeeping, and all basic utilities. Landscape courtyards make it easy to get sunshine and fresh air. Gated parking keeps you ready to go. And the Town Village Dog Park keeps your fur baby close by your side. Hi, I'm Max. My wife Jean and I moved into Town Village Audubon Park 18 months ago. It's the best decision we ever made. We have made friends here and take part in lots of social activities. It's a comfortable life. So if you're thinking of making a change, come see me and Town Village Audubon Park. I think you'll like it as much as we do. And look, new friends.
I have so many people tell me they hear my ads on this station and that they want to know if I'm really as bad a golfer as everyone says. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, and yes, I hate to say I am. I wish I were in my 90s because I could then tell people I shoot my age. But being a bad golfer is not terrible because I devote so much of my time to selling homes to keep my clients happy. Over the many years in the real estate business, I developed a highly successful strategic marketing program, not merely a listing program. Using preparation, presentation, and proper pricing, it works. If you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now. Shell Dunn, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, T-Dot's wrapping up a couple of accidents out here. It's definitely busier than it was coming off I-40 there on the Sam Cooper coming inbound. Radar up through North Mississippi this morning. Certain sections up through DeSoto County on 55. Just be careful there south of Memphis. Hey, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer. If you can help these kids, please do. Log on today, stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
To Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:33 is the time. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you. As promised, we'll go to the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. 901-360-8255. Lee has dialed in. Good morning, Lee.
Hey, morning. How you doing?
Doing great. What's on your mind?
Hey, very good. NBA draft. Throw an idea at you. Why not go back to the original? Pull the envelopes out of the big ball, everybody has a 1 in 14 chance if you're in the lottery. Just go back old school. Do it that way. Thank you very much. Go Tigers.
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate the call, Lee. So we were talking about this the other day, and with the envelope, there was always the thought of something very fishy was going on, that they could cheat with the envelope. And I think because of that negativity, they got away with that. But they're also trying to give the worst teams the better chance of getting the first pick, as obviously you understand, Lee. But going back to the envelopes, going back to equal positions for all 14 teams, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. You would hate to see the team with the 14th worst record, meaning the 16th, 17th best, whatever it is, getting that first pick. But the reason it was twofold. It was give the worst teams, I mean the teams with the worst records, the better percentage through this ping pong ball lottery that they have. And then 2, to avoid any kind of scandal with the envelopes.
Well, it's about giving fans hope. When your team is terrible, you have to, as fans, at least have hope that there is some sort of light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, we suck, but at least we're going to have the advantage in the draft lottery. I mean, that's about like you have to give fans some hope, something to back. You know what? Yeah, it's been a brutal year, but at least we're going to get this out of it.
Yes, but the hope for the fans has turned into this tanking, which has been obviously a black eye on the league, especially this year. And Adam Silver has even made it a bigger deal by coming out with what he said, and that there's going to be changes. So they don't want to see the tanking. Sure, the idea of helping out the teams that are in the worst situation makes a lot of sense. But when you have teams now that have basically not tried to win a game for the last 3 months of the season, and there's multiple teams like that, it ruins really people's perception of the league.
Yeah, I don't believe that, but if you
I think it's true.
The league's ratings were really good. They're up. Again, I don't think fans, I'll say it again, I don't think fans care about tanking. I think fans understand tanking because they see the reward that it presents you.
I actually see both sides of this from you guys, because I'm seeing a lot of people complain, but then we're in a society now where people just like to complain for the sake of complaining.
Well, they could also complain and have meaning behind the complaint, but then once it resumes and we're now into the postseason, all bets are off. Now you're back to I don't think people are to the point where if you don't fix the tanking problem, we will never, ever, ever watch another NBA game. They may say that, but that's a bunch of BS.
Yeah, you know.
And it's a minority of people that would say that. But people, I think, are genuinely upset, especially if you are a fan of a team that's in the middle of this. Eli's also right that they're looking at the light at the end of the tunnel and hoping to nail it, especially when the draft's a good draft. But
because you know what would piss fans off even more is when they reached into that little tub of envelopes this year and pulled out the LA Clippers at number 1, and everybody goes, Oklahoma City gets the number 1 pick. Great.
Right.
Now my team has no chance. I know they have no chance because I know Oklahoma City's way better than us, and they just got the number 1 overall pick.
But it still could happen in the system they have. It's just a less chance of it happening.
It was like I was listening to a pod. I think it was Olden Polynice. I can't remember who he was on there with. And his suggestion was to give the top teams pretty much that top pick and make the bottom teams continue to work from the bottom back up. I'm like, dude, you're not going to have a league.
That would be, that's the dumbest thing ever. Like you literally are telling fans you're screwed forever.
Right.
Yeah.
And
the same four teams are in their respective conference finals.
It goes back to what you were saying, Eli. You have to, in this entertainment geared league, you have to provide fans some hope going forward that their fortunes can change.
Like you're as a organization, when you suck, and you're trying to present like, hey, renew your season tickets. Well, the part of it is like, listen, we're going to have, again, the worst we can pick is 7th or whatever, but we have this good odds to move into the top 4. If you take that away, like people are all going, well, I'm not waiting to see, like, hell, we might pick 14th. I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens. And again, yeah, if you're letting the best teams like that doesn't make sense. Like, there has to be a reason to give the fans like, okay, at least there is something about the season that can be a positive in the end.
You want to fix tanking, and I'm going to say this tongue in cheek to some regards. Relegation. The bottom 3 teams drop into the G League. The top 3 G League teams move up. I mean, you want to go real crazy? Relegation.
That's a good one because I saw one in the NFL where they were saying where they play the games over in Europe, the loser has to stay in Europe until they win.
Well, think about the general manager and how his tone will change on an organization that has a possibility of being relegated.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a great toe injury? Get the hell in the game.
And you have to work your way back up to the NBA level. Yeah. I don't mind that, Greg. I like that. It's very video games, but I like it.
Minutes restriction. Get the hell out of here. You're playing 48 Curry. I mean, relegation in the Premier League. I guess I'm not sure if they have it in other soccer leagues, and they probably do. It's great. It's freaking great. Obviously, they have it. Not just the Premier League. I should say it's like all through that whole pyramid system down in I know in England, but do they have it in other countries? Maybe they do. But that's why you've seen Wrexham. They infused Wrexham with the money from Ryan Reynolds and from Rob Mack, and they have continued to go up and up and up and up. And I think they're maybe in the second or the third tier. That is like, you talk about putting the fear of God in you, the chance that you could be relegated for ownership. All of a sudden, the value of your team drops or goes up.
The one thing that I don't remember who brought this up, and I don't remember exactly how they had made it, but somebody brought a point of it, whatever point in the year, lock the records in, say it's the All-Star break or whatever, and then from that point on, you can earn extra lottery combinations based on how many games you win from that point forward. So, and I think there could be something to do tinkering there. I can't remember exactly how they laid it out, but yeah, like, okay, here's our order and here's our odds, but there are still however many combinations up for grabs based on how many games you win from here on out. So now you have the motivation to win down the stretch to earn you extra combinations in the lottery.
That is not bad.
No, especially if you set a date like February 10th, something like that.
So you could do the All-Star break and just, I think the All-Star break would be the likely thing.
Right.
Because obviously the thought is, you're not tanking the first couple of months, right? You hope that your team does well, but then all of a sudden injuries hit, and then you're going to Tankville. Right. Well, if you have a set date, and then you are awarded, like Eli said, for wins, maybe there's more of an incentive. You would think it would be. That's not bad. Let me go back to the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. Dan has a comment.
Hey guys, when I tell you this, remember this is not me talking. This is the guy at the bar last night. He said,
"Wait, how many did he have first? How long had he been at the bar first?" That's a.
Well, I know he had 4 martinis while I was sitting next to him. So.
And Dan, you're sure you weren't looking in a mirror?
Then perfect.
It was you. It's definitely another person.
I remember I'm having I had a knee surgery. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So what you got?
But what his plan was to have the first 5 have a mini draft, the second 5 through 10 have another mini draft, and 10 through 14 have a mini draft.
A mini lottery, you mean? Like a mini lottery amongst just those teams?
Yeah, the small teams. The first 5 have their little lottery draft, and 6 through 10 have another draft, all the way up to 14.
Yeah, you're talking about the lottery, so that will put them where they actually will draft. Is that what he's talking about? There's 2 different things. There's the lottery that will determine the order, and then there's the actual draft.
Yeah, he wanted the lottery.
So he's talking about the lottery.
So just the worst 5 teams have their own lottery. And then the next 5 teams have their own lottery.
Teams have their own lottery. Everybody has a lottery.
Well, you'll still tank to be one of the 5 worst.
Yeah, that's the thing, is then that there's even more motivation to be one of the 5 worst, because that puts you in that guaranteed 1 through 5.
Yeah.
So just remember, he had several martinis.
That's why I wanted to get that out of the way.
You should have talked to him after 1 martini instead of 4. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate the phone call.
Yeah, but that makes it like absolutely that you have to be in the bottom 5. Like that there's more motivation than ever to be in the bottom 5, because that secures you 100% a top 5 pick and a 1 in 5 chance at the number 1 pick.
The thing you were talking about there with the added incentive to win after a certain date, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. All right, we need to take a timeout. When we come back, I got some more portal news. Also, some college football news that we'll get to here in hour number 2. Still plenty of time to take your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. It's breakfast time, yes. But before too long, it'll be lunch. You're going to be wondering what to do for lunch. And what about dinner? You're going to bring some dinner home to the family. You're going to take the family out to dinner. Corky's is a great option and has been for 40 years with 4 locations in Memphis. You can dine in at Poplar Avenue in Memphis. That's that East Memphis location. In Collierville, that's Poplar Avenue as well. Germantown Parkway in Cordova and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. They have lunch specials every day. You can add a third of a rack of ribs for $7.99 when you purchase your entree, barbecue sandwich. Maybe you go outside the barbecue family there, get the award-winning catfish plate, and then add the ribs. They have tamales and burgers, great desserts. The sides are outstanding. Get yourself started with that cheese and sausage plate. Also, the wings are unreal. The barbecue nachos, it's all delicious at Corky's, and they will cater. No matter how big an event you got coming up, you want it catered, Corky's can take care of that for you. They've been catering their entire existence. Just give them a call. They'll start you out as low as $7.99 per person. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet peculiar peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finish with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes. Or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger-buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Five-Ash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The better players in the American Conference are being rated here by bigger schools, bigger programs. Of course, these players had to elect to go into the portal. And that's exactly what's happening. Wes Enos, who's that shooter from South Florida, really good player in the American Conference. He leaves South Florida. Now, he's not going to a huge program, but they are in the Big East, and the Big East is considered a power conference in basketball. He's going to Creighton. So Wes Enos leaving South Florida. Also, yesterday it was announced that Providence had landed Devin Vanderpool, one of those players from Florida Atlantic, who I think was hurt at times this past season, but he is a very good player. So he's gone. Obviously, all eyes are on Rowan Brumbaugh and what will happen with him. Rowan Brumbaugh absolutely being courted by Memphis, and from everything I hear, that Memphis is in the mix, but he's got some big schools that also like him, and if that's the case, we'll probably be able to offer more money, so we'll see how that turns out. I'm looking at ESPN's updated top 100 portal players, either players that have already announced where they're going, others who have not yet decided. Wes Enos, by the way, is 57th on this top 100. Rowan Brumbaugh is around 90, which is kind of surprising. The two players that Memphis got yesterday are not in the top 100.
Dennis texted in, said, Memphis and a lot more schools are screwed. If Bradshaw is going to get 1.3 or probably 1.5 million, and if your name isn't Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder and saw his production and prodding and poking just to get into meetings on time, this will be the standard the sport is done for old school fans like me. Also, this isn't talked about anymore. What about graduation rates for these schools? That has to be a mess.
Wait, they go to school?
Yeah, I don't know.
They go to class?
I don't. With all the transferring, I don't even know how that affects APR and all that. I guess as long as guys are advancing while they're at your school, that part I have no clue whatsoever.
I mean, if you look at graduation rates, it would be like minuscule for every school. They're not graduating from that school. They're leaving, going somewhere else.
Well, the school is graduating some guys, the ones that come in as senior or whatever, they graduate. Like, I don't know.
Okay, you're right.
As long as you're advancing towards your degree, it's like, again, I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know how APR works to begin with. If a guy stays there for 5 years, whatever.
Did anybody graduate from this Memphis team? They exhausted eligibility. I'm sure there are a few that graduated, but you're right. It's more likely than you've exhausted your eligibility as opposed to you've actually got your degree. Now, there's some grad students, certainly, in all sports that come and play one final year. So they're already graduates. So how does that work as well?
But yeah, I mean, but with Bradshaw, yeah, again, I mean, I know people are certainly going to look at that and like, what? I mean, is he really going to get that much? And I don't know, again, going back to the Maya Cowell piece, I have no idea what kind of value he would place on Aaron Bradshaw based off his production from last year. Like that is for that 1.3 is based off of $1 million valuation in this thing. I have no idea what Bradshaw's valuation would be in that. Mike Cowell actually has a thing that he does that these schools use that he places valuations on guy where he would put Bradshaw. No idea as far as that goes. But there's a report, and I get some of these. I don't know. Like I
don't know what to believe.
I find it really hard to believe. But there's a report that Hans Steinbach, the kid from Washington, who last year as a freshman was fantastic. 18 points, 11, nearly 12 rebounds per game. There's a report that teams were offering him $10 million to stay in college, to play college basketball next season. He could have gotten a $10 million deal.
I don't buy it.
I just find that hard to believe because if you're spending $10 million on one player, like you would have no budget. I can't imagine you'd have much of a budget for anybody else on the team. So I would find that really hard to believe that a team would be willing to spend $10 million on one guy.
Why would he go to the NBA this year? If he's being offered $10 million.
Because you get towards your second contract.
Who cares? You get $10 million.
But you get paid. I mean, he'll be making 6 or 7, and he gets to that massive payday 1 year earlier.
Well, how high do you think he's going to go in this draft? He's good.
He's a late lottery guy.
He's a late lottery guy. He could be like a top 10 pick the following year. I don't know. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. Who's reporting all these numbers? Like, I don't see the Pete Thamels and those guys like putting numbers out there. I don't see the numbers from those guys. I don't know where these numbers are coming from.
It's all pretty much just hearsay and rumor. What the people that's negotiating want to tell us.
Agents. That's agents.
Well, and the dads sometimes come out there, right? That puts more value on their kids when they go, hey, he turned down 8 to go play for 3. No, he didn't. Don't lie to me. He didn't turn down $5 million. Come on. Stop it. That's ridiculous. I don't buy any of that crap. Jermaine Johnson has a new job. Former Memphis Tiger assistant coach under Penny Hardaway. Couple of different stints with Penny Hardaway. Friend of the show. He's now an assistant coach on the staff at Louisiana Monroe. Congratulations to Jermaine Johnson. By the way, do you know who the AD is at Louisiana Monroe?
I do not.
Connection would be Ole Miss. Sean Tui Jr.
Is Monroe, is that where former Houston assistant Quantas White head coach at now?
I'm not sure. I would assume it's a new coach.
One of those Louisiana. I think he just finished his first year there because he left Houston last year. If it wasn't Monroe, it's one of those Louisiana schools because he's a Louisiana native.
College football.
Louisiana Monroe's head coach is Phil Cunningham, or it was this past year. They went 4-28, so I don't know if he kept his job.
They may have made a move.
They only beat 2 Division I schools. Of their 4 wins, 2 of them were against Rust and Arkansas Baptist. So
wow, Holly Springs Rust. That's a local team for us. So, college football news: the NCAA will vacate the results of the 13 games in which quarterback Cade McNamara played for Iowa. That brings their 2023 record to 6-4 from 10-4, and their 2024 record to 3-5 from 8-5. Tampering violations occurred in the Iowa football program. Now, football head coach Kirk Ferentz, who has been there forever, and assistant coach were previously resolved their respective violations. So there will be no more violations, and I don't even remember this happening with Ferentz and an assistant coach. But 2 things that comes to mind. Number 1, Iowa's cheating. What they were doing was they contacted the quarterback before he was in the portal. And that now is supposedly going to be something they're going to really crack down on. We'll see. So Kirk Ferentz, number 1. Number 2, so what happens if Ferentz had in his contract a bonus in 2024 and even a bonus in 2023 for amount of wins, things of that nature, and he goes to 6 wins in 23 and he goes to 3 in 24? Does he have to give back that money if there was
no, because Iowa disagrees with the ruling anyway. They don't believe they should have to vacate the win, so they don't.
They're going to support their guy. Kirk Ferentz. Is anything sacred now?
It's not like he's even blowing people out. They scoring like 16 a game.
Exactly. It's not like Cade McNamara just crushed it.
Like we knew this happened. I mean, it's not a new thing. I mean, he sat out a game for it.
Right.
He sat out a
but they're not going to add
suspension.
They're not going to add any more violations. But what did they do? They erased our memory, Eli. We will always remember that Iowa 2024 team for their 8 wins. But now, only 3. So now we can't remember the 8. We have to erase it. We have to have the men in black come over and do a little thing, do a little magic. As now they will be known as a 3-5 team in conference. In 2024. Actually, no, not in conference. 3-5. Now the record can't be 3-5. It's from 8-5 to 3-5. Oh yeah, so they just negate those wins. They don't give them losses. They just take away the wins. So there you go. Iowa, Kirk Ferentz, cheating. Didn't see that one coming.
Just goes to show you. If you don't have to vacate wins, just blatantly cheat by scouting and doing illegal things that way. Like Michigan, you can win a national championship that way. They don't care.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
But whatever you do, don't talk to a kid who's not in the portal.
2 hours in the books, hour 3 on the way. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Room's got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
After a car accident, money is on the line, and that's why one call can change everything. NST has spent over 35 years fighting for Memphis families and winning big. The call is free, and you don't pay unless we win. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
This traffic report brought to you by Lauren Tag Hill of Ware Jones Realty. If you're buying a house or selling one and want fast action, contact Lauren Hill at warejones.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still trying to clear up this accident. It's got traffic slow. This is the second wreck we've had over here this morning to have to deal with, and that would be 240 westbound near Airways. Again, it's been struggling at times trying to get down through here on this section of town. For some reason, it's been the hot spot for accidents. 240 westbound near Airways. Also wrapping up that wreck on 40 westbound near Whitten Road. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems, come to Amco Transmissions today with 2 area Memphis locations. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. 9:02 the time, hour number 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings. It is the Wednesday, April 15th, 2026 edition, your tax day edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you, broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. They got their spring sale going on right now. Currently 72 degrees, going to warm up to 84 today. Very breezy. Then tonight, 68 degrees and a good chance of a thunderstorm in the area later tonight into the wee hours of the morning. Your Thursday, 55% chance of some precip, possibly thunderstorms tomorrow, 83 for a high. Friday looks to be pretty nice, mostly sunny, 89. And Saturday, rain in the forecast. Sunday looks to be the best of the bunch. 1% chance of precip, sunshine, and a high of 68. Sign me up for that one. That'll be coming up on Sunday. All right, so I asked Eli this. Jay Hammond, did you watch? It just came out on Netflix. Did you watch the Jailblazers documentary?
Not yet, but I plan to probably get to it Thursday when they don't have any basketball.
I watched it yesterday. I couldn't wait. I had to watch it. It was fabulous. It was, as you thought it would be, it was fabulous. And the main guys, in the documentary Rasheed Wallace, who was something else, Damon Stoudemire,
those characters,
and Bonzi Wells.
They actually did a podcast with Matt Barnes talking about those years, and it wasn't as long as the doc and probably not as detailed, but I watched that one, so I'll get to the doc at some point.
So think about the connections to Memphis.
A lot of them there.
Oh, my gosh. Now, the Jailblazers weren't just 1 year, but they focused a lot on the team that went to the Western Conference Finals that lost to the Lakers.
Probably, I would say 2000, about 2003, somewhere
2000 to 2001, and the focus, was probably on a couple of years because the original Jailblazers, when it started to unravel for them, it was before Zebo got there, but then it continued when Zebo got there and supposedly popped Ruben Patterson during practice, popped him in the eye, and oh my gosh, there was so much going on. But they got Bob Whitsitt on the documentary. So he talked about the reasons why he brought in these players. He became defensive at one point, but so I was thinking about it. Rasheed Wallace, who, and I'm not sure if he's still there. If anybody's listening, if Travis King's listening, he would know. But I know that he came over to help out the guys at the Tennessee Collegiate Academy, which is up there in Tipton Rosemark. And Travis runs that with a lot of different coaches that he's brought in. But Rasheed Wallace was doing some of that mentoring this season. I'm not sure if he's still there because I've tried to get him on the show. So Rasheed Wallace, that connection.
Well, he was also assistant for Penny there for
he hung with Penny
2 weeks.
For about a couple
That's
weeks.
right. I completely forgot about that.
Assistant for that.
That didn't materialize.
I don't remember how long that lasted, but it
Not
wasn't
long at all.
Bonzi Wells was the coach at Lemoyne Owen.
And still probably banned from FedEx Forum from Mike Fratello from over 20 years ago.
That's one of my favorite Grizzlies things of all time.
Number 3, Damon Stoudemire, obviously played for the Grizzlies, assistant coach for the Tigers a couple of times, assistant coach for the Grizzlies, big connections to Memphis. Zebo, obviously, goes without saying. Quintel Woods came in there. Of course,
that's what I was about to
Memphian.
ask. Was Quintel a part of the whole
Very, very late in the documentary, but he became part of that. They emphasized a lot of when Ruben Patterson ended up coming in. Ruben has no, I don't think, direct connection to Memphis other than that he played for Cincinnati on those teams with Huggins when they played Memphis so many different times. And other than that, now there were a lot of other players on that team. I don't know if people realize Arvydas Sabonis, Detlef Schrempf, Steve Smith, who was their second leading scorer out of Michigan State. They were all on that team.
We got a secondary connection because we had Scottie Pippen Sr.
I forgot.
Part of the 2000 team as well.
You're right, and that was a big emphasis when they went out and they got Scottie, because Scottie said, I'm not going to Portland. It's like when I'm not going to Memphis, and he ended up going to Portland. It looked like he was going to go to the Lakers. And Scottie Pippen, yes, no direct connection other than Scottie Pippen Jr. He's the father of Scottie Pippen Jr. But it's amazing how there's all these connections weaved in and out with Memphis, whether it's the city of Memphis, the University of Memphis, the Memphis Grizzlies. But it is a really good documentary. And what's interesting, too, and while Portland has had success, they've won an NBA title, but you got to go way back into the 70s. They had Bill Walton. They had great players. But it's a one big league professional town. They have, I think, the Timbers. They may still have that soccer team, but they have an NBA team. They don't have the NFL. They don't have Major League Baseball. They don't have the NHL. Very similar to Memphis. It's worth your while.
And they have a big Nike plant, similar to Memphis.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But
and there's people that believe now they're not going to have that NBA team, that this new owner is going to eventually move them because they won't give a new arena. But the current Trailblazers team, which last night again clinched its spot in the playoffs as the 7th seed, winning the playoff game over Phoenix, do you know that they've got a lot of Memphis ties on their coaching staff?
I don't even know who's on that staff other than Tiago Splitter took over. Who's on that team?
You got Patrick St. Andrews,
okay,
who was a Grizzlies assistant last year.
Yeah.
You got James Posey.
Really?
One of my favorite Grizzlies.
And you got LaRon Black.
LaRon Black is on the staff? Mm-hmm. Former Memphis standout at White Station, I believe, and then he went to Illinois.
Ridgeway.
Was it Ridgeway? Was it Ridgeway?
Ridgeway, yeah.
And then James Posey, I get to meet when I went out 2 summers ago to Penny's golf tournament out in Vegas. Mm. And James Posey, we were like sitting next to each other on the bus, got to meet him and talk to him. Great guy.
Yeah, he was on the recent episode of Out the Mud with TA and Zebo.
Oh, really?
The latest episode, he was at James Posey on. It's good of it.
Yeah, like Posey, I don't know if LeRon Black is actually on the bench because he's a player development coach. He's been working with their G League team as an assistant for the past couple years. Yeah, he's on staff. I don't know if he sits on the bench. Like, I don't know if people are like looking for him if you see him there or not. I assume he probably is on the second row, but I don't know that for sure. But Posey definitely is, and that Patrick St. Andrews again is a big part of that staff.
It's real interesting too how Paul Allen from Microsoft and Bill Gates and all that, he became the owner because he loved basketball, he said, and brought in Whitsitt to make the decisions. But then Whitsitt said that Paul Allen then bought the Seattle Seahawks and said, you got to run the Seahawks too. And he's like, what are you talking about? He was running not only the Trailblazers, but other things surrounding Portland, including, I think, a G League team, not a G League team, but a WNBA team. And then he was supposedly running the Seahawks as well. Like, how do you do both of those? It was just a total mess. But the fan base went from sellout, I mean, absolute sellouts for every game, to people wanting to get their money back, refunds for tickets. Because after a while, look, you understand once in a while players are going to get in trouble, right? You're not going to go absolutely nuts. I mean, the Brandon Clark thing is not good, but I don't think people are like stampeding about it. But you have 6, 7, 8 guys who are all getting in trouble. And here's the thing. They made the point at the end of the documentary. Bonzi Wells really never got in trouble, except he said some stupid things that the fans don't matter, basically. But then they come back for a reunion. I don't know if it was this early. No, it had to be last season. Rasheed would not go back. Rasheed is a different dude. But Stoudemire went back. Bonzi went back, other players on that team, and they were adored. They stood for him. They appreciated what they did and all that. You know,
they'll let Bonzi in their building.
And she probably didn't go back because he thought that Tim Donahue was probably going to be hanging out.
No, he just hates Portland, hates all those people. He's got some issues, but time heals a lot of wounds. I bet you Bonzi Wells would be welcomed.
He'll laugh about a lot of this stuff now because he's just past it. You know, he's moved on.
Bonzi, I loved Bonzi. Like I did too. I loved talking to that dude. He just because he just didn't care. He just kind of didn't. Like, it was just
this good old Muncie, Indiana, cool. You know,
it was just funny. Like, he just kind of like, I'm really good at basketball. I play basketball. It's cool, all that stuff. But he wasn't going to care a whole lot.
That's kind of how his path was to the league. He played at Ball State, came up low, you know, and just made his way through. Like you said, he know he could play. Just rocked out.
I got a text that said LeBron. It was White Station for LeBron Black.
Okay.
I kind of remember.
He may be. I thought it was White Station, but my memory. Second most famous person out of Ball State. There might be a lot of other ones. I'm kidding here, but you know the biggest name to come out of Ball State. He's not an athlete. TV, many years, talk show, very famous.
Got me on that one.
David Letterman. Ball State.
I was a big Ball State. I used to like Ball State when Rick Majerus was there.
I remember some of his time when he was there too. And I remember a couple of good Ball State teams just coming up.
They had when he was there. They had some good teams.
I remember one of those teams. They faced Duke in the Maui final. They actually got to the Maui final, I think, in 2001.
Really?
Ball State, yeah, because they upset Kansas, and I think they beat UCLA in night 2, and they played Duke in the final.
Damn. Yesterday, Diana Rossini resigned from The Athletic after, of course, those photos came out of her with Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel. I'm a little torn on this one because she made the statement that she did, which was, you know, eloquent and all that, and denies any wrongdoing. And, you know, Vrabel's been pretty quiet on the whole thing. And I don't know these people. I don't know what's going on. But to me, it seems like maybe guilt by association, being the female with the head coach. Oh, that's where you get your stories from and all that. I don't know if there was something going on between the two. But when you resign, that adds, I'm sorry, it just, if I was accused of something, I would go to the top of the mountains and scream, are you freaking kidding? Bull crap did I do? I mean, I would never relent. That's just the way I am. Like, you all of a sudden resign, you got to stand by your principles. And I don't think The Athletic, I could be wrong, I don't think they were pushing her out the door. They were supporting her at first, maybe something changed, but I don't think you do that and then with a straight face go, yeah, nothing ever happened, but I'm resigning my position. Well, then why are you resigning your position? You're going to take shrapnel. You're going to take some arrows. First of all, being a female still, even today, with as many females as there are in the business, there's some people that aren't going to give you that respect that you deserve. And now there's Nancy Armour came out in the USA Today and basically said that she's hurt women reporters, and then others came to the rescue, Rossini, and said, shut up. She didn't hurt anybody. So I don't know. I just, to me, it makes me, I was thinking, there's no way, right? Now I'm thinking, well, maybe there is because you resigned. That's the way I think.
I have no idea. The statement she put out is a little weird.
In what regard?
Because again, she doesn't really put in there there's nothing. She doesn't really deny.
I thought she did.
In the statement, she didn't really put that in there.
I have to look up the statement again. I thought I saw something where.
I would have made it quite clear. She mentioned
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember exactly how. She it said it in passing, basically. I'm not admitting that anything happened or whatever. But
okay.
I can't remember exactly. But it just, I don't know. It was a weird statement to me. But again, I don't care. Do you, whatever.
I don't know if I can find it here. Yeah, I don't know. I just if I am accused of something and I know I'm innocent, I'm going to my deathbed with that. The people that oh man, I was interrogated. I guess there's something to it. There's some people are strong, some people are weak. I was interrogated 10 hours by those cops, and I finally had to say, yeah, I did. I murdered the dude. No, you don't. If you didn't do it, don't say anything. Especially that you did it. I watch too many of those Nightlines and those things.
Took me back to
Dateline.
the interview room on First 48.
Yeah, First 48, Dateline, all these shows. It's no, dude, stick to your guns. If you didn't do it, you didn't do it. Don't admit that you did. Baseball. This is interesting. These are some results from the ABS system that is now used. No, that's redundant. ABS that's used in Major League Baseball this year through the first 10th of the season. We're a 10th of the way through the Major League Baseball season. So here are 6 things that they came up with on the story I'm reading on USA Today, or in USA Today. Games are longer. True. The average 9-inning game is averaging 2 hours and 42 minutes, longest in the 4 years of the pitch clock era. It's not tremendously longer, but they're longer. Even though we watch these ABS challenges seem to be so quick, do you think there's anything else to that, or is it because of the challenges?
Obviously the challenges add a little bit of time, not much, but they add a little bit of time, whatever.
So they are, again, generally longer so far through the first 10th of the season. Okay, let's see if I can get the story to work. Come on, guys. Here we go. Catchers are king. Nobody has the vantage point of a catcher, able to see exactly where a ball crossed the plate, and like machine learning, eventually figure out, most importantly, what the Hawkeye tracking system believes is a strike. Accordingly, catchers are successful challenging right now balls and strikes at a rate of 62% entering games of Tuesday, April 14th. They account for 501 of the 522 attempts by fielders, though pitchers aren't faring too poorly. They're 10 for 21. But they don't challenge like the catchers, and the catchers have a high percentage so far of being right.
Yeah, they should. Again, they have a better view than the umpire who's trying to call it.
Yeah, because they're right behind them.
If you could put the umpire into the catcher's spot, that would be the best place to call the game from. So catchers should absolutely be able to be the best ones in challenging pitches.
As for hitters, they say helmet tappers are successfully challenged at a rate of just 47%. With Ronald Acuna Jr., 2 for 6, Nolan Schanuel, and our own Hunter Goodman, each 1 for 5, the most erratic. Hunter last night had one of those feast or famine games for the Rockies. 2 home runs, 3 strikeouts. So they say, who is the ABS whisperer? Who is the best at this thing? Dylan Dingler. Didn't Mark Wahlberg play him in a movie? Dylan Dingler. We'll give an early nod to the Tigers' Dylan Dingler. He's currently 9 for 10 in getting balls overturned for his pitcher. The best rate by any catcher with more than 5 challenges. Managers are working harder to get thrown out. Yep. Arguing balls and strikes, traditionally the surest ticket to an early shower, is much harder to do with a pair of replay challenges in a manager's back pocket. Yet, skippers are still getting tossed at a high rate. 8 managers have been ejected so far, and the intent hasn't changed much in the ABS era. 6 of the 8 got the heave-ho when their teams were trailing, and maybe the managers saw fit to light a fire under the lads. Alas, none of the 6 clubs came back to win after their manager was ejected. And then, this is great. 1 ejection did occur in an ABS situation. Derek Shelton tossed with 1 out in the top of the 9th after an overturned ball, just as the Twins were about to lose to the Orioles. What the hell's he getting ejected? I mean, you have a system here, and he's arguing the system. The Twins are winning at both sides of the ball. Okay, so we won't correlate ABS challenge success with on-field record just yet. Still, it's hard to ignore the Twins. Consensus picks to finish last in the AL Central. They're 10-7, tied with Cleveland for the AL's best record. They won more batter challenges, 14, than any team in the majors, and lead the American League with 19 successful defensive challenges. So there you go. The Twins are apparently doing it right. Umpires have gotten worse. So this is a tricky one. There's plenty of ways now to measure umpire aptitude, and we tend to lean on the very means-tested umpire scorecards as our metric. Let's see. For this exercise, we've chosen to highlight how many umpires rank in the positive for what they call accuracy above expected, or the difference between actual accuracy and expected accuracy, given the website's machine learning approach to estimating an umpire's performance relative to their peers. For what it's worth, 76 of 91 umpires, or 83.5%, finished above zero in accuracy, above expected in 2025. Whatever that means, they're doing okay. This year, just 54 of 83, or 65%, rank in the positive. So there you go. When you're going to have an ABS that's out there, this system that will show, in certain instances when challenged, umpires being right or wrong, and they've been wrong more times, then certainly that's going to drop. So only 54 of 83 have that positive ranking. So there you go. That's after 10% of the games played in Major League Baseball.
With the NBA playoffs getting underway, of course, the play-in got underway last night, continues tonight. The playoffs themselves get underway on Saturday. Of course, over at East Coast Wings and Grill, they'll always have all the games on, along with Major League Baseball and anything else that's on that you want to watch. They'll get it on for you with all the many TVs that they've got over there while you go enjoy some great food and some great drink as well at East Coast Wings and Grill, with 60 different flavors of wings to choose from and many other great items on the menu for you to enjoy. You certainly will be able to find something for anybody over there at East Coast Wings and Grill. Also tonight, little live music from 6 until 9 with Cody Clark. They do that from time to time through the during the week on Wednesday nights. I like to have a little live music. Special deals going on every single day, depending on what line of work you might be in. Happy hour daily from 3:30 until 6:30. You can check it all out at East Coast Wings and Grill, just off Highway 64. They're in the Wolf Chase area, right between the Lowe's and the Walmart. It is East Coast Wings and Grill.
Today is also Jackie Robinson Day in Major League Baseball.
It is indeed.
So you'll see a lot of 42s. We'll take a break. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper is more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:25 the time. Hour 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings. We were talking Memphis Tigers basketball portal news in hour number 1. It was a big day yesterday. Excuse me. For Coach Hardaway. Jason Munz reporting from the Commercial Appeal that one of their targets, San Jose State transfer point guard Colby Garland, his visit scheduled for Friday has been rescheduled for Saturday or Sunday, according to a source. I would imagine that might be just a travel situation, but it's interesting because the news had come out the other day that he was coming Friday. And then yesterday was the commitment to Brandon Cummings, or the commitment by Brandon Cummings to come to the University of Memphis from Pitt. He is also a point guard, but Colby Garland, again, is still scheduled to come Saturday, Sunday. Now, you're going to need a couple of point guards. Certainly, I would imagine guys like that are interchangeable. Garland's a big scorer, but I don't know too much about Cummings and too much about Garland to know right off the bat without doing a little homework what guy would be the projected starter if they were able to get both. I have no idea. Garland put up huge numbers for a very bad San Jose State team, whereas Cummings had good numbers, 12.5 points per game. Pitt wasn't a great team, but they're a team that plays in the ACC, for goodness sakes. So the competition is a lot stiffer than it was for the Spartans. Doesn't mean that the Cummings kid is better and a better prospect than the Garland kid. But right now we know that Memphis has Cummings, along with Favors, the three-point shooter from Washington State, who shot 41% from three this past season, a top 30 three-point shooter. That's a great get. And we'll see what Garland has to offer. We'll see how that visit goes. But again, pushed back to Saturday or Sunday.
Washington State has become quite the pipeline to Memphis.
It has, hasn't it?
One way or another. Grizzlies, Tigers, just look to Washington State and find your guy.
I was reading about Rob Wright, the BYU transfer, and his visit to Kentucky, that it did not go well. Did you read anything about that? Like, I don't know all the details, but like it was like really like epically bad, according to someone I was reading. I don't know how you screw up a visit unless you're back in the day Louisville and you bring the kids hookers.
That is not messing it up.
Well, it is if it gets out.
I don't think those kids thought that was a messed up visit.
I'm gonna guess,
I don't think
I'm
they
gonna guess
committed
that's the
them.
problem. Kentucky didn't have the hookers.
I don't think they ended up committing, did they?
Well, no.
And that assistant coach was given the 10-year show cause.
Yeah,
It was
10
Brian. I'm trying to remember off the top of my
I can't remember
head.
his last name either, but yeah 10 years.
And of course now Louisville. My gosh, the players they got the other day, the money that they're spending in the portal, and that's an area that hurts with Memphis fans, especially longtime Memphis fans. When you look at what's going on with Louisville.
That was our peer for decades.
Absolutely a peer.
So much of the cities that mirrored being their small metro area, commuter schools, the whole deal.
Right.
And they just went next level.
Yeah, and some would say, well, what about Cincinnati? Yeah, but Cincinnati had all these professional sports. What about UCF and Orlando? But it's Orlando, for goodness sakes. It's beautiful now. Louisville was absolutely, it would be Minneapolis, St. Paul, Memphis, and Louisville. They were basically the same. And then I don't know what happened.
I talked to my dad about that years before he passed. He said, man, one of the things I think that affected it ultimately was that when they build new facilities, they didn't necessarily build them on campus, but they got close with Louisville. He thinks that he always felt that here, that's what the issue was here. You don't have the stuff on campus, so it's not like accessible right there for everybody to just walk to.
Papa John Stadium, the football stadium, great. Yum Center, again, not on campus, right? But as you said, but I don't know.
They also made a commitment to football when you needed to make a commitment to football in Memphis.
They were quicker in making that commitment. Yeah, that's a great point. They were quick. So, who's to blame? We know who's to blame. Whether it be the powers that be from a president standpoint or athletics director with the school, maybe even with the city itself. I mean, there's a lot of people to blame. Memphis is always chasing.
Yeah, it goes back to what Tommy West was saying on his way out. If you're going to be able to do this, you got to take football seriously. You have to put football, really serious foot behind football to go forward with that.
I mean, look, I've been here 30 years now, 31 years I've been here. But talking to people that have been here a lot longer, talking to a Dave Woloshin or other people that have been, and they can tell you, Jarvis Greer, who listens to the show all the time, about all the missteps over the years from football that they could easily had an NFL team and they let that fall apart. And who knows that the USFL, that wasn't their fault, but they could have easily been maybe a couple of the teams brought into the National Football League. Something could have happened there. Just always a day late and a dollar short.
Yeah, your description was perfect. We're always on the chase. We're chasing that next group or whatever. We do more to try to keep up with the Joneses as a part of being with the Joneses or among the Joneses. We're chasing behind them.
Yeah, and look, that's a great point that Eli made. Not the only one who's made that point, but he's absolutely right. That when they had a chance to maybe put more of a commitment into football, they did not. Louisville did. The commitment was made in basketball because it was always, we are a basketball town. We are,
yep.
And then they certainly did with Calipari. They put the investment in. We saw the run. But in the end, it's football that gets you to that next level.
Absolutely.
And Louisville was able to do that.
Yep. And ultimately, Cincinnati put that push behind it, too. They were once that same peer with us, going back to the Metro Conference, where we all were there together.
But here's the thing, Memphis was, they were beating those teams. Yes. I'm not saying they were beating them every time, but I called a game in Louisville where they trashed Louisville. And so they were holding their own with the talent they were able to bring in, obviously before NIL, but certainly the best players were compensated. And Tommy, you're right. Tommy's speech will live in infamy. That will never be forgotten of what he said. And then, of course, we know that after Porter, they eventually made the commitment to football. The realization with previous ADs, and now, of course, with Dr. Scott moving forward, that your bread is buttered with football. You want both because basketball is so important. This is still a somewhat national brand, basketball. So you obviously want basketball to do really, really well. But your bread is buttered by what you do in football. And who knows what will happen down the road. I'm not the most optimistic person about it. I've seen too many times where Memphis was in the mix, and then when we saw what happened with the Big 12, to me, that almost closed the door. Like, you're paying these guys to get in there with an unbelievable offer, and they still said no to you.
Didn't want you.
Wayne Texan said Shirley Raines was the worst president Memphis ever had when it came to supporting football.
Yeah. Nice woman.
Was not her,
cared about the academics, certainly.
It was not her thing. Didn't have the, really, I assume just didn't have the vision of just exactly what kind of money the football side of things especially was going to turn into for universities.
Jarbo just texted me. I was just about to say what he texted me. Look at the ADs. Well, I loved talking to RC, loved having him on the show. Really good man with him and his wife Melba. They really did a good job in promoting the brand. But RC versus Tom Jurich at Louisville, Jurich, if it's silent, what he was able to do with Louisville speaks volumes. Now, RC, give him credit. He brought in Calipari. It changed things. But I don't know what... I know he knows that football was important, or he knew that football was important, but not enough really where they made that financial commitment. And Louisville did. And Louisville had that great history in basketball just like Memphis did. A lot of it against each other. But Jurich was pro. I mean, he was pro everything sports-wise. We need to get this better, that better, this better. And I guess had that relationship with their president. I don't know who it was that was willing to make that commitment. Now, maybe RC was, and he was held back because of the Dr. Raines' reign, no pun intended. It's a whole different ball game with the previous presidents, the current president. They're committed to sports. They know how important it would be to get to a bigger conference.
Yeah, again, I mean, there were some that some just got lucky, but some that may have realized that where it was headed, the amount of money that was going to, I don't know if anybody could have seen the amount of money that we're talking about today.
I don't think Kreskin could have seen that.
Billions upon billions of dollars in these TV deals and everything else.
Right.
But realizing that was going to be that your football program was going to be the gateway to a lot of money, that just there's nothing else that was going to be able to make up that type of money of what your football program was going to be able to do, and your athletic department as a whole, because of that football program.
They had to get better academically. They did. So, Dr. Raines gets a lot of credit for that. So they've been able to move up to that next level from an academic standpoint. And that's, of course, very, very important, right? I want to say it's the most important thing, but we're sports guys. So we care about the athletics.
It's important for us. Yeah, absolutely.
Although I have 3 family members who all have a degree of some sort from Memphis. They're all either my son's got his law degree from Memphis. My wife has a I don't think it's a doctorate, but what's the next? You get your undergraduate and then you get your
master's.
Your master's. She's got her master's. My daughter's got her master's. I just, I've gotten some paychecks from the University of Memphis. I was going to school for 4 years, and that's it. Not 4.5, not 5, not 6, 4 years, and then started paying back loans a year later. And mine are finally paid off, but still paying for other family members. But I was not about to go to school, and I was not about to go get a master's and all that. Hey, man, 4 years ago. Now our business, my God. You have people like, how long did your education? Well, I graduated. I didn't graduate 8th grade. I left in 7th. I mean, there's people that don't have degrees, don't have the experience of having gone to college and taken up journalism classes and radio, television, and film and learning. They're just jumping on a mic and putting a podcast out there. And some are crushing it. Some are absolutely crushing it. Influencers, things of that nature. Others are not. But it's a little different ball game now. But I understand the importance of the academia world, but day late, dollar short, as we've been talking about. A little bit behind. Louisville goes out there, jumps ahead of you in football. They become a more attractive city. From a city standpoint, though, population, what type of city it is, the makeup, it's very similar. That's why they've always mirrored each other. Memphis and Cincinnati to some degree. They're all in big conferences. And there's still Memphis sitting here.
Yeah.
And the next one that's going to go in, I guarantee you, mark it down. South Florida. South Florida will be picked before anybody else. South Florida. It is a sleeping giant. I don't know why they've been hibernating this long. They say there's going to be a commitment to getting the new stadium. They wanted to play at Raymond James. Not like it was a bad thing playing in an NFL stadium, but Memphis has played basketball in an NBA arena. And quite honestly, it hasn't been the best thing. It's great when it's full, when we've had some of those moments, but most of the time it's not. And this goes back to your on-campus thing. But that ship has sailed. That ain't happening. I don't think in my lifetime it's happening.
Fleet Feet, that's the place to go to get all your running gear. You want to make sure you get shoes that are just right for you. Go see them at either one of their 2 locations. In East Memphis, they're in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. Out in Collierville, they're right there at Poplar and Houston Levy, next door to the Hueys and the shopping center there. You can go see them. They take a look at the way you run or the way you walk, and they'll fit you with shoes that are just right for you with the support in all the right places based on the way you run or walk, plus all your other gear, everything you need. Heck, it might even just be advice. Maybe you're just getting started running or want to train for races for the first time. Talk to the folks at Fleet Feet. They're runners. They're all about the runners. It's all about the running community at Fleet Feet. They've got group runs, other things they do that you can get involved with. Of course, they sponsor a number of races, 5Ks, other races, things like that around town as well. It's just all about the runners at Fleet Feet. You can find them online to keep up to date with what's going on at fleetfeetmemphis.com, or you can also find them on social media where they keep you up to date with things going on at Fleet Feet.
All right, I'm going to go back to what happened last night in the NBA. We'll look ahead to what's on tap tonight in the play-in when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Zach Bryan with Heaven on Tour.
Poison myself again. Something in the orange tells me you'll never come.
Saturday, May 2nd, Davis Wade Stadium.
Wish I didn't, but I do.
With special guests, Dijon and J.R. Carroll. Tickets on sale Friday at 11 a.m. at ZachBryan.com. Don't miss Zach Bryan live.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Let me ask you something. I bet it's Central Barbecue related. It is Central Barbecue related. Shoot. You don't want me to ask you a Central Barbecue related question? No, I mean shoot as in go ahead and ask. Oh, you can be very confusing. Ask your question. Which one of Central Barbecue's sauces is your favorite? That's a trick question because, Central Barbecue slogan is smoke is our sauce, so you don't really even need a sauce. Other than smoke, what's your favorite sauce? I can't do it. I love them all. Mild, hot, mustard, vinegar, hot vinegar, sweet heat, all of them. And that is how you make a Central Barbecue radio commercial.
Is the way to go. Call 68370.
This is Parker Trotz with NST Injury Attorneys. After a car accident, money is on the line, and that's why one call can change everything. For over 35 years, we've gone toe-to-toe with insurance companies and won billions for our clients.
NST is the way to go. Call 68370. They've got the fight, they've got the heart.
NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or visit nstlaw.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning. On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Williams sang it, number 3 drove it.
So last night, in that Heat and Hornets game, which we talked about to start the show way back in the 7 o'clock hour, Hornets winning in dramatic fashion. Great way to begin the NBA postseason. They win 107, or make that 127, 126 in overtime. So that eliminates the Miami Heat. The Hornets are still alive, and they will play on Friday. They'll play the loser of the 76ers Magic game. That'll be played tonight. The winner is the 7th seed in the East. But the whole controversy with LaMelo Ball, we went back and forth on that with the officials, and should they have seen it, and they didn't have the ability to look back at it. Spoelstra, the head coach of Miami, Eric Spoelstra, said, I didn't see it when it happened, but I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's funny. I think it's a stupid play. It's a dangerous play. Obviously, our best player was out. I'm not making an excuse. The Hornets played great. They made those plays down the stretch. We had our opportunities to win. That's a shame. You should be penalized for that. I don't think that belongs in the game. Tripping guys, shenanigans. LaMelo Ball, when he was on the podium last night, said, I apologize on that one. I got hit in the head on the play. I didn't really know where I was, but I'm going to check on him to see if he's okay and everything. So again, we have replay, we have technology, we got dudes in Secaucus enjoying chicken parm, thank you, Brevin Knight. And we still miss something that may not have been so obvious to some, but maybe to others, that would have changed the complexion of the game. LaMelo Ball's out. There's no way Charlotte's winning that game. Not the way, and I know he didn't shoot the ball well, Knappel didn't shoot the ball well, but LaMelo Ball was the leader of that team, and he hit the game winner, by the way. And Bam Adebayo subsequently would not have gotten hurt. So it's a shame that the first game decided in the postseason was on a controversial play that for sure, if they had seen that play, you would think they would have called it a trip, and probably LaMelo Ball would have been ejected. So as great as that game was, and it was, and it's a good way to start the NBA postseason, the way it went down, not great.
No, obviously you don't want that, and it's certainly unfortunate. I don't the whole thing from LaMelo Ball. I got hit in the head, didn't know where it was. Yeah, that's the number one reaction I do when I get hit in the head is I reach out for the closest ankle to me and trip that person. That's just a natural reaction. Oh man, where am I? There's a foot. Let me grab it. It's just a tale as old as time. That's what everybody does when they don't know where they're at. Just find a foot, grab onto it. Maybe Rex Ryan does that. I don't know about anybody else. But anyway, no, it's unfortunate. Again, we'll see if the league does anything about it in reviewing, retrospect. Again, I guess theoretically could suspend him for the game on Friday night. Could it be a fine? I don't know. I don't know what they will do or what they will say after reviewing it. But yeah, I mean, I guess it could be that they hand down a suspension and he's not able to play Friday night.
The other game, the late game in Phoenix, the Trailblazers surprising the Suns 114-110 in the Western Conference 7th/8th place game. With the win, the Trailblazers are in the playoffs and they will take on the San Antonio Spurs. So congratulations, Phoenix. Now you have to go up against Wemby and company. The Suns are still alive, though.
Portland has a great win.
Portland. The Suns, however, are not done. They now will play Friday, and they get to host again as they will play against the winner of the Clippers-Warriors game that'll take place tonight. And again, we talked about this as well in the first hour. With the Suns, it helps the Grizzlies if they lose that game as well and don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, again, I mean, the Phoenix and Orlando picks are the ones that the Grizzlies are focused on, and Washington plays in to some degree, but mainly it's Phoenix and Orlando, and getting them into the lottery means the Grizzlies have a second lottery pick, So we know they wouldn't pick any worse than that. Second pick wouldn't be any worse than 14th, but also just gives them more lottery tickets, more combinations. You get to walk in and buy a few more combos on the quick pick to try and win the draft lottery and move all the way up into that top 4. But we'll see what happens with Orlando tonight. Certainly wouldn't be a surprise at this point to have both or at least one of them miss the playoffs. Certainly Phoenix could lose to either one of those two teams that wins tonight. And certainly Orlando could lose to Philadelphia on the road. And then certainly wouldn't be a surprise if they also lost to Charlotte, although that game will be at home. Now again, if LaMelo were to end up suspended or something, well, then that'd be a different situation. But don't know that would possibly happen.
Sixers are a 1.5-point favorite playing at home against the Magic without Joel Embiid. If they had Embiid, what would this line be? 5.5? Orlando has struggled to the finish line.
I would think 4.5, 5.5, probably somewhere in there.
And do you agree that with a lot of people out there who cover the NBA that Jamal Mosley is dead man walking?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he got what he could out of it. It's probably just time to get a new voice. Him and his best player have had a lot of clashes. He's clashed a lot with Paolo this year.
Yeah.
So
I saw somebody posted that, and I don't know if there's that New Orleans apparently the New Orleans really likes him, that he could get the New Orleans job possibly if he is out there. I don't know if there's like people that front office that were in Orlando. I don't know. I'm not sure because that's Joe Dumars. I don't know what his relationship is or whatever. I don't know if that maybe it's somebody other than Dumars or whatever. But somebody posted that that New Orleans apparently does like Jamal Mosley.
Interesting.
I don't think that's a bad move. You got another good young core group, that he can bring up. You got a great point guard in Jeremiah Fears. You got a good one in Derek Queen. He's talking about not trading Zion.
Yeah, Dumars said he's keeping Zion. He's not trading Zion.
Yeah, I think he's just going to probably try to work his way back up from the bottom with it. And I'm okay with that.
I wonder what the issues were with him and with Mosley and Paolo. Paolo represented by Mike Miller, correct?
Yes.
From what I remember saying, one incident in particular was that Paolo was saying they don't make adjustments, and Jamal Mosley saying the adjustment is you need to play harder.
Old school.
Play
harder.
Mike Brown hit the Knicks with the same thing earlier this year. It's not about what we do at halftime. The adjustment is simply giving back, better effort.
Effort's what it's all about. Tonight, we'll see how much effort from the Warriors, who are walking wounded. You got Steph Curry, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford. All these dudes are on minute restrictions from head coach Steve Kerr, who gets it from the front office, as they go into their game against the Clippers. The loser done. The winner not yet in the playoffs, but one step closer. And again, I don't get it. I mean, they're going to be able to rest a long time after this game if they lose. So why not go 100%? Like, if Steph Curry's on a 25-minute limit, well, you're telling me, like, it's a difference if he plays 30 minutes? It's going to screw him up for life? Physically? How about if they need him for 30?
He's not keeping no limit on himself.
I don't think so either. I bet you it's a close game.
Golden State doesn't care if they make the playoff. They know that the result is.
But Steph Curry,
they're going to get swept by Oklahoma City.
But Steph Curry.
Why would you jeopardize the future health of Steph Curry to go get swept?
I don't know.
Maybe win 2 games to then go lose 4.
I don't know Steph Curry from Adam, but I guarantee you Steph Curry is as competitive as anybody. And if he's playing in this game, which he is, he wants to win the damn game.
He wants to win the game. And I do see where Eli's going. It's like, once you get past this, if you were to get by that and then you win Friday,
we can say that about a lot of things. Why are teams even playing? Why do they even have the playoffs? Because Oklahoma City's going to win again. I mean, we don't know what's going on.
Competitors want to compete.
Competitors want to compete, and I'm telling you, let's say the number's 25.
And sometimes the team has to step in and not let him. Tyrese Halliburton really wanted to play Game 7 last year. What did it do? It cost him an entire season.
Okay.
Kevin Durant really wanted to play.
It
cost him a season.
Steph Curry has the next 6 months off. He's the next 6 months off.
And so did Tyrese Halliburton. It turned into 18 months off.
Yeah, but Halliburton, that was a free thing, and they're also there.
No, it was a calf injury that turned into an Achilles, which is what happens.
He did have the calf injury that was listed prior to that.
So somehow, some way, the doctors, the surgeons, the physicians, the people that are dealing with the health of these players, they have come up with, and I'm just making up the number here. I don't know the number. They're making up the number going, all right, Steph can play 25. If he plays 26, the calf will implode. It's going to melt right on the court. I guarantee you, if this game is tied with 3 minutes to go and Curry's already hit his limit, he's going to demand that he's back in that game, or they're going to put him back in that game.
And why would they even issue a publicly that they have a restriction on his minutes?
I know.
Because they want fans to know. Because when he only plays 25 minutes, they want the fans to understand. Like, the reason he's not playing 35 minutes is he's on a minutes restriction.
Preemptive reasoning for them.
Yes.
Way they know off top.
I saw odds yesterday come out, no surprise. For the Milwaukee opening, Taylor Jenkins, the odds-on favorite to get the Milwaukee Bucks job. I think he's going to do well, but again, it all depends. Is Giannis staying or is Giannis going? Right now, if we were to poll 100 Memphis Grizzlies fans, and we said your only two choices are to keep Tomas Isolo, who, again, I don't blame him for what happened this season at all, or you can have Taylor Jenkins back. What's the percentage?
I'll work on that poll question and put it on our Facebook and Twitter.
What do you think? What do you think it would be, Eli?
I think
they want Jenkins back.
I think answer 3, I don't care, would be the winner.
You know what? I think we probably will get that. Might win.
Oh, well,
I don't think they want either one of them.
I don't.
If they had a choice, I would guess that they would want Jenkins back.
They probably would lean more taking Taylor back, but they don't want Taylor either.
The Trailblazers, by the way, not the Trailblazers, but the game tonight between the Warriors and the Clippers. Clippers by 5.5. Kawhi, load management at the end of the year may pay off for them. The Clippers finished the regular season at 42-40. Meanwhile, the Warriors are in the postseason, the play-in albeit, 8 games under 500, and of course dealt with a lot of injuries. Is this the end, even though maybe we considered last year, the end of the Warriors?
It should be. It should have been the end when Klay Thompson got out of there.
It's been done for
right. It's really been done since, I say, when they lost to the Lakers in 2023.
There's people that think they could win the Giannis sweepstakes if he's traded. And then you still have Curry, you still have Draymond. I know they're older.
And they're like 40.
Does Curry, Giannis, Draymond, and then other pieces...
Sure, a decade ago.
Does that be... So this year it wouldn't be Golden State, San Antonio?
No.
So you think it's fleeting hope? Forget about it.
Right. At that
Put
point,
it to bed.
they're just reaching for the notable names.
Should Curry be dealt?
No.
So how many more years does Curry have to go through this crap then? If they're not going to be competitive?
However long he wants to go through it.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of sad, isn't it? I mean, when you think of Curry, you think of the Warriors and the dynasty.
I mean, yeah, but sometimes guys continue to go on well past their dynasty run. Tim Duncan
there's
did
no
it.
question.
We saw a lot of guys in baseball do it. They just, continue to be great. Same with football in some cases.
Was San Antonio bad?
Michael Jordan played for the Wizards.
This is true.
No, I know, but I'm talking about with one team.
If Steph wants to be traded, he'll ask to be traded. If not, he'll say, you know what, I'll just finish my career here and understand what the situation is.
At the end of Duncan's run, the Spurs were bad. I don't even remember.
No. They were.
I thought you just said that.
No, what I'm saying is it gets to that point to where they're not going to win, but your great player is your great player. And sometimes when like Reggie Miller never left Indianapolis for what? He never had a reason to. Even when he wasn't clearly the best player on the team anymore, when it was Jermaine O'Neal, when Ron Artest was there, when they realistically had a chance to win a championship, he wasn't the best player.
Right. Some players like to stay.
Will just want to say, I just want to be known as this. And
Karl Malone,
and
Stockton
others
with
will
the
go
Jazz.
chase titles at the end of their career just to do it.
They were perennial bridesmaids, but they loved the situation in Utah.
Right.
They probably loved it that there was less fanfare.
And Stockton never left it. At least Karl went
that
to try
Karl did
with
go to the
LA.
Lakers at the very end. You're absolutely right. Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis, a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, Shoot 360 Cordova, the 50,000 square foot facility offers all types of bells and whistles. This place is incredible. You need to go take a tour and see what they have to offer. The original in Collierville still has those shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology. So you could join both, or you can join one or the other, whatever's easier, maybe closer to where you live. But you can join on a monthly basis. You can't beat that. Join for a month, try it out. If you don't like it, you're in for a month. No big deal, right? No harm, no foul. If not, you can join for more months. You can join for a half a year, whatever you want to do. But you can keep it month to month at Shoot 360 Memphis. The coaching is incredible. The instant analytical feedback you get when you jump into one of these shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology is second to none. It is some kind of place for basketball to improve your skills and to become a better all-around basketball player. Shoot 360 Memphis in Collierville at 901-316-5500, located at 85 Market Street. And the big one in Cordova, Big Orange Road, that's 901-779-3176. Call or stop by and ask for a tour today. The future of basketball training is here at Shoot 360 Memphis. And that'll do it for us today. I want to thank you folks for listening to the program, for your calls and texts. Big thanks to DeMichael Cole for joining us as well. We're back tomorrow starting bright and early at 7 a.m. Eli will have the day off. Kerry Miller among our guests. We'll talk some Major League Baseball with Kerry. Sure, a lot more portal news and, of course, NBA. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and Jay Ham, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day.